Yo, yo, it's your boy. We back. We back. We are back. Hold on, let me let everybody know in the Discord that we're live. We are live. What's cracking? Give me a second. Hold on. Yeah, it's your boy, the Ultimate Rage, coming back with yet another live. We are here in the no cap zone. What's cracking, my guy? What's cracking, my guy? You know what time it is. You know what time it is. It is time for the no cap zone, where we have a strict dress code. All right? Strict dress code. No capping ass bullshit allowed. You come in here in the no cap zone, knocking off with the cap. Yeah. Knocking off. Yeah. So, trying to do a little thing. I'm trying to do a little thing. Trying to let people know that we trying to do this thing in a different way. Starting today, I'm trying to do different themes every day, trying to see if maybe that can capture your imagination, can capture your mind, that you can open your fucking thought caps and put your thinking caps on and see what the hell we can figure out about this crazy thing called reality. This reality thing, what the hell is it? What the hell? Where are we? When are we? What the fuck is all of this? What is it? I'm trying to figure it out. Can anybody, somebody help me figure out all this crazy nonsense called living life and dealing with reality? Maya, what's good? What's good? What's shaking and baking, my fellow human beings? As you can see today, we have the theme of Tech Tuesday. We talking about tech. We talking about techity, technology. We talking about reality. We talking about everything under the sun and outside of it. Everything. We talking about reality. So make sure, if you haven't already, please hit that like button, hit that notification bell, hit that subscribe button. You know what it is. YouTube. You know what to do. Do that shit. All right. So I guess I'm gonna just get started with thank you. Also the Outrageous EP available on all streaming platforms. We also got the Discord. Every day after the live, we hop in the Discord, we kick it, we shoot the shit, we build community and watch videos and stuff like that. So after the live, we in the Discord and we finna build community and all that. Just for a hot little while, you know what I'm saying? 30 minutes, an hour, nothing too crazy. But thank you for joining the No Cap Zone with me. So I'm going to just get it started. Check it out. So since the dawn of human civilization, human beings have pretty much had a symbiotic relationship with technology. Every aspect almost of our lives involves some form of technology. Right now, everybody who's here is using some kind of technology, using some kind of mobile device or some kind of other device to watch me, to watch you, to watch other things, to watch other creators online, on the internet, on the interwebs, on various social media platforms, and all these different platforms. We all have become pretty much cyborgs because our entire lives has technology as a part of it. Even the clothes that we wear, the shoes on our feet, the TVs that you are using to view whatever show or video game that you play or whatever the hell you're doing involves some sort of technology. Good for you, my dude. Good for you. Yo, what's cracking? That's my girl right there. That's my other girl right there. No, but I have one. If your girl would like some, Steve, she could totally have some of mine. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Well, if she has a bit. Well, first of all, I don't know which way you go. If you go that way, If you have a lady with a particularly nice derriere, I have some of that BBC for her. You know what I'm saying? If you're into that cuckolding stuff, we can totally get it cracking, my friend. Anywho, what up? What up? What up? What up? What up? A word? A word? Good for you, fam. Anyway, every aspect of our society, every aspect of our lives has something to do with technology. You want to get somewhere? Well, you can walk. You can surely walk. You're probably wearing some form of shoes, some form of footwear to do it. Or you might use a skateboard. You might use a scooter. You might ride a bike. You might drive a car. You might get on the bus. You might take a plane, a train, an automobile. All of these things are forms of technology that humans have created to improve the quality of our lives and make the process of transportation, of working, of doing anything way more efficient. So at the end of the day, shout out, what's good? Ava Tyson was good. No, it's not. My ceiling is not caving in. Jean Paul. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. No, I would not. I would not do that, Imp. I would definitely not do that at all. I used to subscribe to an ancient religion once upon a time. That's the reason why I came to the point where I'm at now, where I actually have some kind of understanding of the scientific method, which is the reason why we're talking about science right now, which is the reason why we are talking about technology and its symbiotic relationship with humanity. Every aspect of our lives has to do with technology. I don't care who you are, even if you're a Luddite of some kind, you are using technology. Even if you're Amish, you're using some form of technology. Granted, it might be outdated, inferior technology, you know what I'm saying, ancient technology, but it's still technology. Because at the end of the day, unless you are a hunter-gatherer, even then, hunter-gatherers use some kind of primitive technology. Ever since the discovery of fire, we have been coming up with different ways to manipulate our reality to our collective benefit. Cooking food, preserving food, capturing the animals that become our food. You know, all these different things that have helped to improve human life and improve our quality of lives. And as a result, we have been constantly increasing our capacity for developing these types of technologies and improving upon these designs, improving on the types of technologies, improving our wisdom, our understanding, using these tools to help us to further understand, to better understand the nature of reality. Basically, we're trying to understand what the hell all of this is, our place in it, and how deep the rabbit hole goes. Is the universe all that there is, or is there more to it? These are questions that have been pressing humanity for eons. And ever since we began to exist, ever since we gained the ability for sentience and sapience, we have been contemplating our place in the world. We have been contemplating existence, how it came to be, how the hell we came to be. What the hell is this living thing? What the hell is this being alive thing? What does it even mean to be alive? What is life? What exactly is life? What's the definition of life? How do we distinguish between life and non-life and all these things? Yo, where are my mods at? These trolls are going crazy right now. See, I made a day specifically for you trolls the other day, and I find it very peculiar that on that day when I was talking specifically about y'all were nowhere to be found. Now all of a sudden y'all coming up in here, but you know what? Whatever. I don't care. Because I talked the other day about how you trolls, as much as we can't stand y'all, for some reason y'all were a very important part of humanity and human life, particularly in the form of viruses. And speaking of which, humanity has dealt with what I call the misery circus. For all these eons, before the advent of the scientific method and technologies that helped us understand the nature of reality on the larger scales and on the smaller scales, people had no idea what the hell was going on. If somebody was suffering from some kind of psychotic episode, if somebody caught a virus or some kind of disease manifested, somebody gains cancer or any of these types of things, people had no idea what the hell was going on. If somebody got sick, They didn't know that it was because of some viral infection or because of some germ or because they needed to wash their hands before they eat or because somebody had genetic predispositions for ALS or whatever other conditions are out there. These are things that people just plain didn't know. So in order to try to understand reality, they came up with various ideologies as a way to try to understand reality, as a way to try to understand what this crazy hellhole is. People came up with religions, people came up with all kinds of conspiracy theories, and these things might have helped give people some kind of room for comfort, some kind of stasis, some kind of brain stasis that allowed them to feel better about their lives, better about themselves, to know that there is something out there somewhere that is watching them, the great programmer in the sky. But now we live in the time where science and technology are beginning to increase and improve at a rapidly exponential pace, at a rapidly accelerating pace, to the point where understanding reality has become absurd. Because we've discovered so many things, we have figured out so many things, and yet there's still so much that we still have to figure out. I ain't showing you nada. I actually worked out before I went live, thank you. So miss me with all of that. Anywho, at the end of the day, people have been suffering from all kinds of ailments, have been suffering from all kinds of diseases, disorders, brain disorders, viral infections, all these different things. People did not know that these were the things that people were suffering from. And now that we have technology, now that we have science, now that we have come up with all these different sciences, psychology, chemistry, even though psychology is questionable in terms of science, but it's getting better. All these biochemistry, neurology, quantum physics, all these different things that impact reality, that impact 2,000 years ago, from a manic episode or a psychotic episode, it's questionable as to whether or not people fully understand what this was. Considering the fact that these different ideologies became pervasive in our society, it is clear that people did not fully understand that others were suffering from these different conditions, that they were suffering from these neurological conditions, these psychological conditions. Hell, many of them were probably suffering from these conditions, which is amazing that up to this point, we are still here. We're still alive. We're still able to understand. We're still able to create a civilization that has become so advanced. And yet now we're in this crossroads, but where we have to decide which way we're going to go as a civilization. Alright, you're getting annoying. Bye. Nice try. Better luck next time. Anywho, we're in a special time now where we're beginning to fully understand reality. But there's become a schism between the discoveries and innovations that have been occurring and the information being translated and related to the lay people, to the masses worldwide. It becomes very difficult. Thank you. Simone, thank you for coming through, and I appreciate you coming through. This is what we have to do. This is a requirement for human progress. We have to deal with the trolls because the trolls are a natural part of reality. They're a natural part of humanity. The fact of the matter is that we have those among us who are working desperately to ensure that we can't progress as a society, that we can't progress as a community, which is one of the things about developing technologies and understanding as much as we can about reality. Understanding the human psyche, understanding why these people exist and why they are working steadfastly to troll everybody. While they work steadfastly to prevent progress as much as possible, how they are working steadfastly to harm our ability, hinder our ability to progress as a society. See, all throughout human history, we've had all these different types of people who have made life difficult for the vast majority of us. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why we had to come up with prisons. That's the reason why social media companies have social media jail, where they put people in jail that they feel say things that they don't like, that say things that could be potentially harmful or offensive to others, right? And the difficulty has been determining the balance between who should be in prison and who shouldn't, who should be allowed to speak and who shouldn't. Because while contrarian perspectives are valuable, it is abundantly clear that there are many of those whose perspectives we should not be considering in any serious manner, because their positions, their actions are antisocial. They are hindering our ability to create a well-functioning society for ourselves. They hinder our ability to understand reality as much as possible. These people get in positions of power and they work to spread and disseminate disinformation of various forms, to silence those who are truth tellers and truth seekers, and to promote those who are cappers, capping ass cappers, who are constantly spreading and disseminating bullshit, charlatans and scam artists. And then we wonder why it's so difficult for us to create a well-functioning society for ourselves. I have not heard or read of the quantum suicide theory. I have not. But I'm going to check it out. See, because that's part of what we do here in the no cap zone. That's kind of the point of the no cap zone, that we trade information among one another, right? I'm not somebody who purports to know it all. I'm not somebody who pretends like I know everything, because if I knew everything, I wouldn't be on YouTube. I would be owning your fucking house. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, that is what technology is for. That's one of the greatest benefits of having these types of technologies, that they allow us to create a well-functioning society by improving our ability to communicate, to interact, for us to trade information at a more effective and efficient rate than ever before seen in human history, which is why technology has become such an integral part of human society, because these are the things it allowed us to do, things that have never been done before in history. Just 100 years ago, a device such as a cell phone or whatever device you're using to interact with me, to get into the chat, is something that we have never even fathomed. Hell, I remember as a kid, myself, thinking that wouldn't it be cool if we could like see each other on the phone when we talk to each other. It really sucks to just have to talk to you on the fucking cordless phone like this. Hell, the fact we even had cordless phones, when they came out, it was like, wow, a phone without a cord, a phone that's not just a rotary. You can actually press buttons instead of having to turn the dial every single time. Oops, messed up, got start over, start again. Dial the number. No, I can actually press 4. Oops, my bad. Press backspace and then press number 5, because our technologies are constantly improving. Because of our improvement in material science, our improvement in computation, we're able to create better and better, more effective and efficient forms of technology, which is why it becomes even more important for us to understand as much about reality as we can. Okay, so Benjamin is basically talking about a form of multiverse hypothesis, I guess. All right, let's just get to it. All right, so check it out. Quantum suicide and immortality. Quantum suicide is a thought experiment in quantum mechanics and the philosophy of physics. Purportedly, it can falsify any interpretation of quantum mechanics other than the Everett many worlds interpretation by means of a variation of the Schrodinger's cat thought experiment from the cat's point of view. Quantum immortality refers to the subjective experience of surviving quantum suicide. This concept is sometimes conjectured to be applicable to real-world causes of death as well. as a thought experiment. Quantum suicide is an intellectual exercise in which an abstract setup is followed through to its logical consequences merely to prove a theoretical point. Virtually all physicists and philosophers of science who have described it, especially in popularized treatments, underscore that it relies on contrived, idealized circumstances that may be impossible or exceedingly difficult to realize in real life, and that its theoretical premises are controversial even among supporters of the many worlds interpretation. Thus, as cosmologist Anthony Aguirre warns, it would be foolish and selfish in the extreme to let this possibility guide one's actions in any life and death question. Wow. That was a lot. That was a lot. Wow. That was deep. See, and here's the thing, right? There's all these different hypotheses for what the nature of reality is, whether it's the many worlds interpretation, quantum suicide, E8 lattice, freaking string hypothesis, all these different things, right? The more that we understand about physics, the more that we understand about computation, the more that we understand about quantum physics, all these different aspects of life, they improve our ability to get to the bottom of trying to understand what the fuck all of this shit is. Which is why it's so important that we work towards understanding the nature of reality, which is why it's important to constantly work towards understanding technology, getting with technology, improving upon our ability to use technology, improving the technologies themselves, because they create a constant improvement, a positive feedback loop that allows us to get closer and closer and closer to the answer. And it is of my opinion that if a nice sizable portion of humanity work together interdependently with synergy at getting proficient with technology and science, the sciences, STEAM, science, technology, engineering, the arts, and mathematics, we can get to the bottom of this at a faster and faster and faster pace. Unfortunately, there are way too many, too many people among us who do the opposite, who don't care to learn, who don't care to know, because they believe what they want to believe, because that's what they were taught, that's what they were indoctrinated to think, and they don't care about learning various aspects of reality at all. First of all, Mario, welcome. Second of all, you're late. You're absolutely fucking late. So you already missed 20 minutes of what I've been talking about. Third, you can look at the title. I don't know if you can see the title, but the title should give you a basic understanding of what the hell we're talking about. But basically, we're talking about the nature of reality. We're talking about trying to understand what the fuck all of this shit is, that this experience that we are sharing together, the fact that we were thrown here with no strategy guide, no tips and tricks, no booklet that says, hey, this is life and this is what you got to do. I mean, there are books that have been written for various ideologies, but what we've discovered in the modern age is that many of these books are basically inaccurate, outdated, and just plain false. And it is time that we as a nation of Americans, that we as a human population globally, decide that what we want to do is understand reality as it actually is, and not just what we want it to be, not just subscribing to preconceived notions, because we actually want to know what the fuck it is. Why do we exist? What is existence? What does it mean to live? What does it mean to be alive? What is sapience? What is sentience? What is consciousness? How does it come to be? Is it something that's just a manifestation of having a brain, or is there more to it? There's so much about our existence that we don't understand at all. But what we do know is that the scientific method has helped us to get to understanding more and more about this existence that we have. That's how we were able to come up with all these different technologies. Everything that you see around me is something that was human made. the chair I'm sitting in, the glasses on my face, the shirt on my back. You know what I'm saying? The razors that I used to cut this shit. The table that I'm mounting my cell phone on. The mount that the cell phone is mounting on, the cell phone itself, the different components within the cell phone. Somehow, people were able to figure out how to put all this shit together so it has the qualities that allow it to be used in these different ways, that allow you to be able to interact with me and everybody's in the chat, despite the fact that we're all potentially thousands of miles apart from each other. This is what technology has allowed us to do. See, back when we had horse and buggy, that was our most effective form of transportation. And it was also our best form of communication. That's why we had the Pony Express, right? If you wanted to transfer a piece of data from California to New York, you couldn't just email. You actually had to physically transport this information from here to there, right? Then we came up with, telegrams, telephones, the internet, cell phones, mobile devices, apps, and social medias, to the point where we have these abilities. All right, fam, move the fuck around. What the hell is your problem? Bye. 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 Nice try. Better luck next time. See what we gotta deal with, man. These trolls, they don't ever want to stop. But see, that's part of the process. It's an unfortunate part of the process. As much as I can't stand these fucks, it's what we gotta deal with. That's why we are where we are today. Because see, progress is never something that's just a straight line. It's not something that's ever just been easy where, okay, we can just press a button and move on to the next level, where we can just level up, where we can just, okay, now we are on level 2. No. Not only do we have to deal with all the different issues that, that threaten our lives in terms of the environment, right? We got to deal with each other. We have to deal with those among us who work tirelessly to muddy the waters, to spread disinformation, misinformation, and who like to just cause chaos. I have very rarely had lives on any app or any platform where I wasn't being inundated with trolls galore. Especially when I was doing this on TikTok, the trolls were just coming through in droves. It was really frustrating. Because at the end of the day, it is so difficult for us to get on the same page, despite the fact that we have all these different technologies. You would think that with all this interconnectivity, all this multimedia, all these different apps, are different forms of communication, that would make it easier for us to communicate, right? That with these new technologies, with these new fucking innovations, that it becomes even easier to communicate. But see, the problem is people become more and more and more entrenched in their various echo chambers, to the point where they spread among each other all forms of misinformation, all forms of ignorance, and they wallow in it, they love it, they absorb it. And then when they come out here into the real world, when we're forced to interact, when we're forced to discuss all these different things, it becomes difficult for us to connect, because so many different people have a different view of what reality is, of what the real world is, which is exactly why I created the No Cap Zone. Read a room. I made a post like a week or so ago on my TikTok. People can't even fucking read. People far and wide have difficulties reading, period. And when it comes to reading the room, see, in order to read the room, first you have to have some kind of empathy, right? You have to have empathy to read the room. That means that you have to want to understand people. You have to want to understand others and the perspective of others, which is what becomes so difficult about our society, that we are a nation that is so individualistic. We're a nation that is so antisocial, that we don't care about the well-being of others, which is why we've become such a hyper-capitalist nation, because everything is all about get yours, I got mine, dog eat dog. Good luck out here. Pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. Pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. But the irony is that we created civilization because we decided that, yeah, pulling yourself up by your own bootstraps not the greatest fucking idea in the world. It's better if we're working together interdependently with synergy to create a society, to create a civilization, which is one of the reasons why we were able to be as advanced as we are now. But the problem is, we could be so much more advanced if we all had the same understanding of reality, which is why I created the No Cap Zone, so that we could work to try to establish a baseline for reality. We got to go back to the drawing board. Because apparently there are way the fuck too many people among us who basically just don't understand reality, who don't understand the nature of reality as it is. They believe all these different things. They've been indoctrinated to believe all these different things. They have been propagandized to on a constant basis, on an everyday basis, to the point where we can't even have real conversations anymore. On the fucking national scale, on the global scale, but particularly here in America. Sorry for those of you who might be foreigners who are in other countries. I'm a fucking stinking Yank. I'm a freaking American. I hate to say it, but yeah, I'm an American, so I'm more focused on America because this is the nation I live in, and we're supposedly the greatest country in the world. We're supposedly the greatest superpower that the world has ever seen, and yet, as I've shown you guys on a constant basis, we are failing miserably on various metrics and various forms because we cannot get our shit together. We can't get our minds right, and it's by design. Because there are all these different moneyed interests that work to fucking ensure that we maintain the status quo. And these interests, these corporations, rich people, banks, whatever, they benefit from human misery. They benefit from keeping Americans in the dark, keeping Americans ignorant, keeping Americans incapable of thought so that people don't think. They become mindless consumers. They become mindlessly programmed bots, NPCs that walk around spreading bullshit, spreading disinformation, spreading the same memes over and over again, making it ridiculously, extraordinarily difficult for us to progress as a society, as a nation, so that we can actually work towards understanding as much as we can about everything. Exactly, Benjamin. People are living in their own artificial realities, which is one of the things of why we need to start having conversations about reality. Because the more that technologies advance, particularly those like virtual reality that allow people to live in their own virtual world, it helps to make sure people get their minds right as these technologies continue to advance henceforth, right? Because we have all these different innovations that are going to drastically impact us as human beings, right? Look at cell phones. I remember a time when there weren't that many cell phones. Before I was in high school, ain't nobody had a cell phone. Only a very select few people had cell phones. And when they did, they were freaking bricks. They were the size of this. Yeah, what's going on? What's going on? Huh? Man, this stupid thing. Now everybody has a mobile device. Same here, Penny. Same here. I got my first cell phone as like a junior or senior in high school, right? One of those little Nokias, right? Thing was as small as this freaking little not even, it was smaller than this. You remember they used to be like damn near the size of a freaking lighter and stuff. That was how cell phones were. They barely exactly with antennas. What the fuck did that shit do? They didn't even have real screens. They just had this little block screen where you could type numbers and shit, and that was pretty much it. Now we got mobile devices where we can call, text, email, freaking get on various different apps. I can live stream. I can do all these different things. I can be here talking to y'all, get a phone call, be like, hey guys, hold on, I got a phone call. Talk on my phone while I'm still streaming. And do all these different things because technology has advanced as much as it has. And yet, yeah, Snake used to be so great. I remember back in the day when I used to have the calculator, I had a TI-86. But you know, others had the TI-83, and we had those little games on the calculator. Oh, you can play Mario, you can play Snake, you know, whatever, Gang Wars. Now we have cell phones that are pretty much like computers. If you transport it back to 100 years ago, walking around with a cell phone, people would think you were some kind of sorcerer or something. They'd be like, yo, what the fuck is that shit? What is that in your hand? Yo, what sorcerer is this? You must be a witch. Burn this person at the stake. But now, these type of technologies are commonplace. They're everyday, normal things. You could go out in the bus, out in the train, out in the fucking sidewalk, go to a restaurant, go to a freaking club, go to a movie theater. You're going to see multiple people with their cell phones, immersed in their cell phones, doing something with their fucking cell phone, because we all have cell phones, because they're so useful. There's so many different things you can do with them. In fact, it's almost impossible to live life, especially here in America, without one. That goes to show you how technology has advanced so much within the past few decades, let alone over the course of human history, right? And so that's the thing about technology. Technology has had such an integral part of human existence, of human life, of human society. It has played a probably the most important part of the advancement of our civilizations, because that's what we have become. We have become a technological civilization. Exactly, right? Exactly, Ben. Like, I don't think a lot of people back then could have fathomed the type of technologies we would have today. You feel what I'm saying? Or that they would be the way that they would become, that they would have such an impact, where no, you don't have to be a Starship Federation trooper, whatever, to have a mobile device. You can just be a regular everyday person and have a mobile device. Yeah, right? Yeah. That Elon guy, yeah. My, how the mighty have fallen. I used to be such a huge fan of that dude. And he just fell completely off. Went far off the deep end. Which goes to show you that even if you are an intelligent person, whether he's intelligent or not, you can still suffer from various issues. You can have blind spots in your thought patterns. You can be misunderstood, or you can be misinterpreting data in such ways that you actually cause problems. They actually worsen situations, such as how he's handled Twitter, X, right? How it's lost so much valuation. How the entire Elon Musk X, it's become a shit show. It's become a straight up shit show. He pretty much destroyed X. Also that he could, be such a free speech advocate, and yet even he himself engages in censorship. Just his side's version of censorship. And speaking of which, that's become one of the biggest issues of today in our abilities to communicate, because of censorship. Right? I mean, the reason I'm here on YouTube now doing these lives instead of TikTok like I was is because I was being censored and censored and censored and censored and censored and censored and censored so fucking much that I couldn't fucking take it. I couldn't take it. See, the things I've said for the past half hour, I would have probably been suspended 17 times over on TikTok. Which makes it even more difficult for us to communicate, because these different entities and organizations gets to determine who has the ability to speak and who doesn't. They get to determine how algorithms work, and not only that, they can control who specifically gets to have a say and who doesn't. Who gets to go viral and who doesn't. Who gets to, bypass the guidelines and who doesn't. Which calls into question, how do we know that any of these creators, artists, whoever, are genuinely good at what they do versus those who are just given a platform by the creators of the platform themselves? It gets difficult to navigate this world when you are being inundated with the algorithm's decision of what comes across your purview. When I go to Google, it gets to tell me what articles are going to show up. When I do a Google search, it determines what articles get pushed to the forefront. Oh my God, it sucks ass. See, and that's another thing about TikTok, fam. Because at the end of the day, like, I find it particularly bizarre that I've made all types of posts about science on TikTok and never have I been featured on the STEM section. Ever. Never. Not once. And even though what I do is science, because I'm trying to get to the bottom of understanding reality. That's why I'm like, fuck TikTok. They can eat my shorts, man. They can eat my shorts. Because if we're trying to get to the bottom of understanding reality as much as we possibly can, we can't just be shutting people out because we don't like what they have to say. There have been all sorts of ideas that have been proposed decades, even centuries ago, that people are revisiting like, oh shit, this guy from 70 years ago had an idea that we thought was crackpot nonsense. It turns out dude knew what the hell he was talking about. Oh snap, we thought that this chick was just saying a whole bunch of blah, 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 gobbledygook. Turns out she was on to something. We dismissed her as a crackpot because at the time, we thought we had it figured out. We thought we knew what we were talking about. But actually, they're the ones who knew what they were talking about. That's why peer review is such an important thing, but it's also not perfect, right? There's the argument from population fallacy, right? Just because a whole bunch of people agree on something doesn't mean that they're correct. That's another aspect of the society that we find ourselves in, which is a huge reason as to why I'm an atheist and an anti-theist. Because at the end of the day, I feel that theism fails miserably to accurately capture the essence of reality as it is. It has failed to help us create new technologies, to innovate in various ways. You can pray and hope and wish as much as you want, but it's not going to cure cancer. It's not going to build a spaceship. It's not going to figure out fusion energy with praying to some deity of some kind, right? But we're still in a time where the vast majority of people, or at least a huge portion of people, but particularly here in America, a vast majority of people still subscribe to these ancient sci-fi fantasy ideologies. And we have to transition people kicking and screaming into the future. Bye. Bye. Thank you. Come again. Yeah. Okay, so I was going to ask you about that. So what the hell was that? Because I saw the picture and I'm like, what the hell is going on? What is that? But see, that's exactly the type of shit I'm talking about, right? There's all these creators that have shit content. Like, we can just all agree, shit content. Nothing content. Like garbage. Like, I don't even know what it is. But at the end of the day, it's all good, man. It's all good. I'll be monitoring my shit, so don't worry about it. I'm not bothered by it. I'm used to it. I've been hated all my life. That's what inspired me to try to understand people as much as possible. How can I be cool? How can I get people to like me? How can I get people to accept me? And then I realized, oh, people are full of shit. That's why they don't like me, because I'm real. I'm myself. That's why trolls and clowns come through here just to be trolls and clowns, just to talk all the shit that they want. But at the same time, they'll have thousands of viewers on some bullshit that doesn't contribute shit to nothing. That doesn't help us in any tangible, meaningful way. And then they'll work tirelessly to come here to try to stop us from doing our thing because they don't want us to succeed, which is why it becomes so difficult for us as a society to progress, because these type of people exist in real life. Not only are these people online talking shit, you're this, you're that, you're this, but these are also the same people, at least a lot of them, who are out there committing crimes, harming people, unaliving people, abusing kids, abusing animals, abusing whoever. It just so happens that they have the internet too. It just so happens that they have mobile devices too. And they get to express their views too, as much as we can't stand these fools. Misty, what up? What up? Thank you for coming through. But exactly, people have their blinders on because people have been taught, they have been indoctrinated to think this way. And it's not just that people are goofy, that people are dumb. Like I've said earlier, it's by design because you have these institutions that benefit from society being the way it is. That's why we live in a society, and I've said this before, like they say things like, live like there's no tomorrow. Live like there's no tomorrow. Do what you can today. And I get it. I get the idea. I get the sentiment. I get what they're trying to say. Because if this is my last day on earth, then yes, I should try to do what I can today to try to live the best life that I can. However, I feel like that mentality is short-sighted because we should be living like we want there to be a tomorrow. Like we want tomorrow to come and that we want tomorrow to be fucking awesome, amazing, wonderful, even better than today. Even if today was awesome as fuck, why can't tomorrow be even awesomer? Why can't it be even more awesome? If we work towards understanding reality as it is, to understand the human condition, to understand various aspects of reality, understanding the human body, subatomic particles, all these different things, it could greatly improve our ability to improve upon the human body, which is why I'm such a staunch transhumanist. Because let's face it, all throughout human history, we have been dealing with all kinds of crazy shit that makes it difficult for us to live life and continue to persist and push ourselves toward constant improvement to the point where it's like, what the fuck is going on? What exactly are we doing? Where are we? What are we? What are we doing? So like I said, people come up with these ideologies, they come up with these things that make sense to them, but you also have these money interests that say, yes, we want you to keep thinking that way. We want you to keep contributing to these institutions so that they can continue to exist, so that we can continue manipulating you into thinking that these are the right ways to do things, that this is the right way we should do things. Let's not think too deeply about anything. Let's not think too deeply about the nature of reality. Let's not try to understand reality. Just go to work, go to the store, go home, shut the hell up. Don't think about nothing. Don't contemplate reality. Don't contemplate anything. Just go to work, go to the store, go home, and every 2 to 4 years, go vote for the same two parties that keep worsening everything, kicking the can down the road, and not doing anything to actually help us create a well-functioning society for ourselves. We barely even have real discussions about what it means to have a well-functioning society. Hell yeah, Maya, you know what time it is. So that's why I created this old head stream. But you know what? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's not for you to understand. Bye. Thank you for coming, though. See, this is one thing I can't stand about people, right? And this is exactly at the core of what I'm talking about. People don't actually really want to understand. They don't. Because if you come to the stream, you see the title. You see the title. If you could read, you could see what the old head stream is about. I literally gave you a title where I talk about all the things that I'm talking about. But this is what I'm talking about. This is why it becomes so difficult to deal with people. It becomes difficult because people don't want to work together. They don't want to contribute. They're working desperately against us. They're working desperately against our ability to progress. Because if everybody wanted to progress, if everybody wanted to understand, we would not be at the stalemate. We wouldn't be stuck in the state of stagnation where it becomes difficult for us to even have basic conversations about the most basic aspects of reality, where we can't even talk about anything unless somebody's going to get super offended, super triggered because I said a word that they didn't like, or I touched on a topic that they feel super duper sensitive about. Well, how the hell can we actually get to the bottom of everything if we're catering so much to people's preconceived bullshit, to their bullshit emotions, instead of just being objective and trying to understand the truth and the facts? Mike, what up? You know what time it is, fam? Yeah, I'm grumpy as fuck. Why do you think I'm the ultimate rage? Why do you think I'm the ultimate? I'm not the somewhat kind of sort of angry. I'm not just a little bit of no, I'm the ultimate rage. Because the thing is, when it comes to say gaming, right? When it comes to gaming, a good game is a game where the controls make sense, it's clear what you're trying to do, it's fun, it's fair. It might be a bit challenging here and there, but you can enjoy it. You don't feel like you're wasting your time. Of course, there are games that are meant to be extraordinarily hard. You know that going in. Okay, this is a hard-ass game. It's going to be difficult. I really have to play the fuck out of this shit. I have to really improve my proficiency at this game so that I can fucking beat it and I can enjoy it. It's a challenge. I like challenges. But at the same time, you don't want to play a game that's glitchy as fuck, that makes no motherfucking sense, it doesn't fucking function the way it's supposed to. It becomes difficult to figure out what the hell to do. You're like, what the fuck? I pressed the jump button and jump. I said shoot him. Oh my god, now I gotta reload. Oh my god, it's not reloading. I pressed the reload button and it didn't reload. What is going on in this game? Fuck this game. And it's the same way with reality, with the reality that we inhabit. We have inhabited a reality that is superficial, a simulated reality, what is called hypernormalization. It's the superficial reality on top of reality. It's this fake reality. It's this civilization. It's the society where everything is plastic, everything is fake. Everybody's walking around pretending like everything is kosher. They wear okay. Here's an example, right? It's like I live on the south side of Chicago, for those of you who are not familiar, right? And I live in a neighborhood that's not the highest income neighborhood, to say the least, right? So I'll see people walking around, they'll be like, damn, how are some of these kids rocking brand new Jordans with fucking nice this and nice that? How is that even possible? Only to come to realize, oh, those Jordans are fake. That V-Lone is fake. You got that from the store up the street where they sell knockoffs for fucking a quarter of fucking eighth of the price, or fucking whatever of the price. And people give off this false image. Fake it till you make it. You see people that look like they're the most decadent, most intellectually honest, the most superior, the most posh and well-to-do people. And then you'll find out that they're super savages. How many stories have we seen of white-collar crime? Or how many stories have we seen of well-to-do people who are caught committing heinous, horrible acts and crimes and acts against each other, acts against their own families? We live in these situations where life becomes where perception is reality. Where if you say that this is real, then it's real. Even if we can all see it's bullshit, because you said it's real, it's real. And it makes it difficult for us to distinguish reality from the fiction, reality from the falsehoods, reality from the bullshit, because there's so much bullshit all around us. That's why I call America the scam capital, the cap capital of the world. You'll see music videos of people rocking the freshest ice and the freshest clothes with all these nice cars in the background. The cars don't belong to them. They rented the cars or they borrowed the cars from some other person. The ice is fake. It's not even, it's cubic zirconia with fucking silver plated fucking brass, whatever the fuck. But people don't care. It looks real. It appears real. So it must be real. It's on my TV. If it's on my TV, it must be real. It has to be real. It has to be real. So that's what I aspire to. So they give us these visuals that we're to aspire to promote hyper-capitalism, so that it forces us to act in ways to do whatever we can to attempt to match whatever we see in this fake image that they're presenting to us, right? They sell us what's called the American dream, telling us that anybody can make it. Anybody can make it. And yet, the reality is, it's difficult to navigate American society. Sure, there might be a lot of people, a large portion of people who are able to live well-to-do lives in nice neighborhoods with nice cars, nice families, nice houses, and all these type of things where life is great, where life is grand. But even in those places, we see some of the most depraved actions occur in reality. Things that you would think were from straight out of a horror movie, where you're like, what the, how the, wait, that, what? As many of you know, I watch a lot of crime stuff. A lot of crime stuff. And a lot of the craziest stories happen in small podunk towns or well-to-do fucking neighborhoods all over the country. Places where they say, oh, this type of thing never happens here. And what do we see? All types of shit like that. I never heard of Uvalde, Texas in my life. I never heard of Uvalde, Texas in my life until some lunatic decided, hey, I'm going to go to a school with my AR-15 and unalive a whole bunch of people. And now Uvalde is a household name. If I say Uvalde, Texas, we all know it for one thing only. One thing and one thing only. An extremely terrible tragedy. If I say something like, oh yeah, Littleton, Colorado, or more specifically, Columbine High School. It's been decades since the incident that occurred there. And yeah, if I bring up Columbine High School, you know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. That is what makes it difficult for us to understand the nature of reality, because these things happen all over the place, yet we pretend like it doesn't. Or it happens, oh, give our thoughts and prayers, and then we move on without actually having conversations about how we can address these things in a real, tangible, meaningful way. People just offer their useless fucking emotions, their useless thoughts and expressions of solitude, expressions of sorrow and sorriness, but it doesn't solve anything. And it becomes difficult for us to figure out how we can solve these different problems, because there are factions out there that are benefiting directly from these types of tragedies that are happening. And they use technology, they use media to shape our thoughts, to shape our beliefs, to shape our understandings, so that we don't think deeply about these things, so that you can just say, okay, well, vote this party or that party, even though neither party are solving anything. Regardless of which of the two parties are in office, Democrats or Republicans, neither of them actually work to solve anything. Even if they might advance some kind of bill that might do this or that, they always fail. Always. And the biggest issue I have is that we don't have actual discussions to get to the nitty-gritty about this, because almost everybody in our political system subscribes to some ridiculous ancient sci-fi fantasy ideology, which automatically, inherently alters their perception of reality. It compromises their perception of reality, which makes it difficult for them to actually come up with actual, tangible, effective, and efficient solutions to all these different issues that we face as a society. Exactly, taking information at face value. That is one of the biggest issues that we have in our society, especially now that we have the internet and technology, social media, and stuff like that, particularly things like memes, right? Memes, all the wonderful, beautiful memes. We have all these different memes, and if you fucking make a claim on the meme, people will accept it like that. People have no desire to actually fact check or to perform their due diligence to cross-reference these claims with factual data from reputable sources. And even then, reputable sources aren't perfect. They get it wrong too, all the time, which is why you have to check multiple different places, because nobody is perfect. No institution, no publication, no magazine or newspaper or website will always get it right. No person will always get it right. I ain't always gonna get it right, even though I'm right most of the time, because I'll be knowing what the fuck I'm talking about, which is why you need to hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so that we can get to the bottom of understanding this shit. Bye. Bye. You know, it's funny you said that because I was actually just watching Wes Watson the other day. Thank you very much, but miss me with all of that. At the end of the day, there are all these people who disseminate falsehoods, and everybody has fallen for one at some point in time. All of us have done it. We've all seen a meme or seen an article and thought that they knew what they were talking about. We thought that they were genuine in what they were saying. They probably could have been genuine, and they could have just been wrong. Jamie, what up? What up? Exactly, Jamie. That's pretty much what I'm talking about. That's one of the issues with technology too, that I didn't even fully mention, but we could go there now. As great as technology is, as much as technology has helped us to improve and transform our society, there's a dark side to technology. There's the fact that technology can be used to commit all types of heinous acts, that they can have unintended consequences, that they have various forms of harm that can be used against us as a population. The mere fact that we have weapons, right? Like I was saying before, hunter-gatherers, they use technology to hunt. And these weapons that they developed to hunt helped us to create societies to begin with, by having these tools that make it easier for them to hunt down the food. Well, these same weapons can be used against you, against me, against us, which we see on a constant basis here in Chicago. You know, what's Chicago known about? What is Chicago most known for? What is Chicago most known for? Chicago is most known for the gang activity, the gun violence, all that shit. Exactly, Chirac. That's exactly what has plagued our society. In fact, slavery, the American slave trade, part of why that was able to happen was because of technology. Because the colonizers, the slave traders, they had advanced technologies for their time. They had these weapons, these projectile weapons that allowed them to unalive people from vast distances. Even though the tools they had were primitive at the time, they were the most advanced tools of their time. And because people have fear of what these weapons can do when they see what it does to somebody else, people will comply. And that's been one of the issues with society, that we have a society that worships violence, that loves violence. As much as we say stop the violence, right? Like, especially like here in Chicago, we'll have people that will protest, stop the violence, stop the gang violence. And then they'll go into their car and turn on some gang rapper, fucking antisocial personality disorder having thug rapping about committing acts of antisocial behaviors on a constant basis. And this is the type of behavior that is promoted heavily in our society. It's, in fact, one of the greatest ways to get out from the hood is by promoting bullshit antisocial behavior. Some of our most famous artists, especially a lot of the hot artists now here in Chicago, are these same kind of people that do the same type of things. I cannot tell you how many music videos I've seen of a bunch of young thugs with a bunch of weapons, aiming them at the camera, talking about how they like to use their weapons at the camera, and talking about smoking on their dead op packs, disrespecting their ops, only to then, 9 times out of 10, end up becoming a pack themselves on a constant basis. And we see this type of behavior promoted all across the country in various different ways. And that makes it difficult for us to navigate how we can actually improve upon our societies, because the media that has been driven by the technology companies, they are the technology companies. They're pretty much one and the same, right? They get to determine who gets to have the soapbox. They get to determine who gets to have the late night show, the night show, the early morning shows, and who gets to go viral online, and who gets to actually get views and get clicks and likes and shares and shares and shares, visibility coming across your fucking For You page or your fucking front page, whatever website that you're using. There is no guarantee that anything anyone ever does will ever succeed, but what we do see are patterns and patterns and patterns that a lot of charlatans and scam artists get promoted heavily, greatly, on a constant basis, whereas truth tellers and truth sayers, they get unalive, they get suppressed, silenced, they get freaking blackballed, freaking banned and shadow banned. It becomes difficult to actually get the truth out there because the truth is not valued. We live in a nation that does not value truth. People will say things like, you gotta keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real, fam. Get real. Get real. But we live in a nation of people who are delusional as hell, who are fake as hell, who don't know what the hell they're talking about, who love ignorance, who wallow in ignorance. If you fucking say some nerd shit, you say some intelligent shit, nerd, what the hell? Get this goofy nerd out of my face. That's the type of society that we live in now, where actually having knowledge makes you a worse person, whereas being ignorant and goofy and just, ridiculous is something that people love. It's something that catches people's eye, right? As an example, I mentioned this before, but the Cash Me Outside girl, Bad Baby, she was on a show, Maury, I do believe, where we're supposed to be highlighting problematic children and shunning that behavior. Instead, it spawned her whole career. She got on OnlyFans and became the richest person on OnlyFans overnight, soon as she turned 18. This is the type of society that we live in. This is the type of society that we live in, where we actually actively promote antisocial behavior, where we actually value antisocial behavior, which is one of the reasons why we see so much media that is antisocial. We see these reality shows. We love the drama. We love the movies and the TV shows and the video games where we're actively shooting and killing and maiming and harming. And don't get it twisted. I'm not sitting here saying I don't like it, because of course I do. I'm a gamer. I'm a movie buff. I love TV shows that are dope. I can't act like I'm any different. But see, the thing is, I can differentiate between, okay, this is not good versus that is good. I have guilty pleasures, but we don't have conversations about actually differentiating between these. We don't actually have real conversations about how we can improve upon these things. Oh yeah, like slaves. You could get a slave for a pack of bubble gum in the Newport. You can be like, okay, look, I ain't got money on me, but I got this hand sanitizer. I mean, it's only like a little bit left, but I got that and a pair of scissors. Can I get one? All right, cool. Right? Like that's how people were being bought and sold, because we were subhuman. It was normal. It was a part of everyday society that people were subhuman. And technology has been used to keep it that way, even to this day. Even people who are in prison are being treated like slaves, where they're being exploited for their labor, cheap labor, because, hey, they committed crimes, so let's put them to good use. And we have this industrial complex where all these different industries exist that constantly make money. And because they make money, and because we live in this hyper-capitalist society, everything is about ensuring that individuals, that rich people, that fucking corporations constantly make more and more and more and more money, despite how it affects the population, despite how it affects the people, the stakeholders, and what have you. It becomes difficult to understand, okay, now that we're beginning to understand this shit, how do we move forward? How do we go about doing things henceforth? How do we improve upon the human condition henceforth? What is reality? First of all, what is reality? That's why we got to go back to the drawing board on what reality is, what our intentions are, what our goals are as a human race, as an American citizenry, so that we can actually have a focus of what we're trying to do. Which is why I always talk about how our aim, I believe, should be working towards becoming what's called a Kardashev Type 1 civilization. For those of you who are not aware, civilizations are rated based on their level of energy consumption, their energy harnessing capabilities. The reason for this scale is because, as I'm sure many of you know, we have not fully understood the nature of space, the nature of the cosmos, the nature of the universe. We don't know everything that's out there. We have the freaking James Webb Space Telescope right now at the L2 Lagrange point, discovering all these different celestial bodies. We're seeing galaxies we've never seen before in human history, all types of other stars and all these different things. And yet, despite all of that, we do not have a clear-cut form of proof for the existence of alien life, right? Especially given the age of the universe, the fact that it's 13.8 billion years old, that we've discovered that there exist billions upon billions of galaxies, each having billions upon billions of stars, with each star having about 1.6 planets per star, who knows how many moons. You would think that by now, and that was the Fermi paradox, by the way, you would think that by now that we would have discovered some kind of alien life out there, but we haven't. And then we start to imagine, well, if there was some kind of alien life that we could discover, what would it be like? Well, it would probably have to have these qualities, those qualities, these qualities, right? If there was some civilization out there that we could discover, they would probably be super advanced to the point where they have begun harnessing the energy of their stars and stuff like that. For them to be able to be detectable with our current technology, especially given time dilation. The fact that the further something is, the longer it takes from the light from that object to reach us here on Earth. The galaxies that I was just mentioning earlier, we discovered galaxies that existed earlier than we previously thought. They probably no longer exist right now as we speak, but it took billions of years for the light from that galaxy to get here. Hell yeah, check out the Discord, fam. All right, Ben. Thank you for coming through. We do this every day, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. So hit that fucking subscribe button. And I hope to see you tomorrow and henceforth. Also, join the Discord, fam. Join the Discord. We're trying to build community here. But thank you for coming through and thank you for contributing, fam. Enjoy the rest of your day. If I don't see you, enjoy the rest of your week. Be safe out there. But yeah. So, if you haven't yet, hit that like. Stop playing with me. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on that notification bell, fam. Because this is how we get to the bottom of understanding reality. Hell yeah, for sure. Exactly, Jamie. See, thank you. Thank y'all. See, this is the thing about reality. This is the thing about our current society. I feel like we've gotten to a point where, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I feel like we've gotten to a point where we devalue human life, where we have taken our lives for granted, where we've taken each other for granted, right? One of the reasons why I talk about this type of stuff is because, let's just say for the sake of argument, we're the only ones in the entire universe. As crazy as that might sound, that we are the only life in all of the universe. That means that we are all that we got. Which means that human life is the most precious shit in the world. That earthling life is the most precious shit in the world. Because if we can't find life anywhere, if there's literally no life anywhere, then that means that it's even more important for us to ensure our continued survival, to ensure our continued ability to survive and thrive, and to understand as much as we can so that we can create a well-functioning society for ourselves. So with to your point, Jamie, the fact of the matter is that even if there are aliens out there, if we find out that there are, let's say, primitive civilizations out there, that we're the most advanced, right? That we're the first civilization to become advanced and to start to evolve and expand and become spacefaring. We could be the ones that are doing the big things that some other primitive civilization could detect with their current technology or whatever at the time. You know, time is a crazy thing. So, like, people are so, when they think of aliens, they always think about aliens coming here, aliens taking over, trying to take over, all these different things. But thank you, Ron. Who knows? I have no idea. I have no idea what Tom Cruise is. For all I know, Tom Cruise could be a figment of my imagination. I don't know. I don't know. But thank you. Thank you for hitting that like button, fam. See, we do this every day, and there's so much we can talk about with all this shit. But like I was saying, we talk about aliens coming here, trying to take over, doing this, doing that, blah, blah, blah. We never really talk about us being the aliens going out there and being the ones to take over and all that type of stuff. Because at the end of the day, people don't think these things through. When it comes to all these different concepts, most people never really think these things through. They don't say things about, okay, if we were the aliens, what would we do if we went to some other place, some other planet, some other star system where we discovered that there was life there, some kind of life, especially if it was inferior to us, right? Like, we've become these super advanced creatures that could travel to another star system. How would we react if we saw some other civilization like us? If they were hunter-gatherers at the time, or if they had dinosaurs or whatever at the time, why would we go there to take over? For what? What would they have that we need so bad that we would have to go there to conquer them? At the end of the day, we are working to try to understand reality as it is and our place in it, but we don't think so much about what's out there so much as our earth-centric selves. We are a nation of people who have become so self-centered. We can't even think about shit out there, right? I've said this before. You know, the last chick that I dated, I showed her a picture of the ultra deep field by Hubble, because the James Webb deep field hadn't been released yet. I showed her this picture of the ultra deep field, and for those of you who have not seen it, I'm gonna show you. I'm sure most of you have. If you're here, more than likely you say thank you, appreciate that. Thank you. But in case you haven't seen any image of the ultra deep field, let me show you. So this is a picture of the ultra deep field, right? So they used the Hubble Space Telescope to just stare at a patch of sky for an extended period of time, and they were able to discover endless, pretty much almost every dot that you see that's not one of these cross lines is a galaxy. The dots with the cross lines, I do believe, are stars, but all these little dots are fucking galaxies. And that's just in one patch of sky. I mean, billions upon billions. Most of them, yes, are galaxies. Like I said, I think the ones like, say, that red one right there, I think those are stars, the way that the light shows. Do I look like a goddamn cosmologist, astrophysicist? I don't fucking know. Red shift, blue shift, I don't know. Ask an astronomer or something. Okay? I'm not the one. Don't ask me. I'm just relaying the information to you. Well, I'm not, even though I probably should have. And I'll tell you a quick little story. I didn't care about astronomy. I didn't care about science. I didn't care about none of this shit until I took astronomy in college my senior year. I took astronomy my senior year, because mind you, before this, I used to be a Christian. I didn't care about space stuff at all. At all. Like, the shit was cool, I guess, but I thought it was kind of nerd. Even for me, I'm like, I'm a nerd, but that shit is too much for me. And then now, as you can see, clearly I done flipped. So when I was, after I took this course, I was like, damn, I should change my major. But it's too late. I'm in my last year getting ready to finish my business program, so I might as well just continue on. But now I kind of wish that I would have fucking changed my major and become an astrophysicist or cosmologist of some kind, because now I'm obsessed. I'm absolutely positively obsessed with this shit, which is why I talk about it every day, and it literally blows my fucking mind that most people don't talk about this shit. Because there's so much. I mean, I just showed you this pic. Look at that. Look at all this shit. And this is just one little picture, right? One little freaking stinking picture. All these little freaking dots. All these little dots of galaxies. So many. It's absolutely positively absurd. You would think that in an image like this, that you would see some kind of spaceship flying somewhere, some kind of fucking alien megastructure, just by looking, like, oh shit, there goes the Silurians right there. Yep, it looks like they're warring with the Warlocks again. Look at them. They can't fucking get along for nothing, can they? Man, somebody gotta do something about those fools. And yet, we don't see shit. We just see a bunch of dots and a bunch of dots and a bunch of dots and a bunch of dots. Why, thank you, my friend. My mother tells me that I started reading at the age of 2, which, would probably explain why I am such a genius, mother. No, I'm just playing. But yeah, she said I started reading at 2, that I would see like a Walgreens sales paper and I could say, Walgreens. So that would be cool. Yeah, haters hate. That's what they do. That's their job. They cannot stand knowledge and intelligence, because if they did, they would be fucking hitting that like button and stop acting like punk ass. A word? That's dope as fuck. I bet she was, fam. I mean, dude was a celebrity, my dude. So and knowing him, because he did love being a celebrity. He loved being the dude. So I'm not surprised at all that he would have a baddie by him. At all. But that's dope as fuck. But yeah, I like to read. You know what I'm saying? I probably read like 7, 8 articles before I came on here. And in fact, I wanted to show y'all an article because I feel like this is important to the discussion. I was going to post this in the group, and I will post it in the group. Jamie. Well, then cool. Stay here. Stop playing around. Join me on the Discord after the live. Starting immediately, we're doing meetups in the Discord. Shooting the shit, watching shit, learning shit, building community, all that. That's what's up. That's what's up, Maya. Well, hopefully your son can get like me and get dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, wishing y'all the best as always. You know what I'm saying? That's why I do what I do, because ultimately, look, let's be real. I do this for them. I do this for the youth, because I feel like the way our society is now, we are setting the youth up for extreme failure, and they are the future. I'm a futurist. They're the future. So why the fuck would we set them on a path of bullshit, of ridiculousness, of believing sci-fi fantasy gobbledygook instead of working interdependently with synergy to help us figure out some shit? That's what I'm saying. Why the fuck would we want kids stupid as hell? Why would we want them to get a horrible education? And see, here's one of the things. I've talked about this, and I'm going to keep talking about this until the cows come home. My sister is a teacher. They just started their new semester, right? And she told me that they're changing from the SATs to the ACTs because the kids are performing miserably in the math and sciences. They are failing woefully, failing miserably, and explains why we have a society that's scientifically illiterate as fuck. Which actually brings us to the article. A person's intelligence limits their computer proficiency more than previously thought, say researchers. Hmm. Wait. Let's see that again. Let me. A person's intelligence limits their computer proficiency more than previously thought, say researchers. So check it out, right? So a new study has found that intelligence in the form of general cognitive abilities such as perception, thinking, and remembering is more important than hitherto thought at predicting a person's ability to complete common tasks with a PC. The study was published in the International Journal of Human Computer Studies in August 2024. Our research findings are the first clear proof that cognitive abilities have a significant, independent, and wide-ranging effect on people's ability to use a computer. Contrary to what was previously thought, cognitive abilities are as important as previous experience of computer use, says Alto University's professor Antifi blah 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 blah. Sorry for completely, totally, and utterly intentionally butchering your name, who studied human-computer interaction extensively with his team. The findings have implications for digital equality, say the researchers, because everyday user interfaces have simply become too complex to use. Practice alone is no longer enough, with intelligence becoming an equally critical factor in predicting performance in computer tasks. So, now here's the thing, right? See, I have pretty much grown up with a computer my entire life, right? I still remember the day when my dad bought a Gateway 2000 PC, the first PC we ever had, and I was hooked immediately. The things that you could do with this thing, of course the games, of course it was the games. You could play games with a computer, hell yeah! So I've pretty much grown up with technology all my life. You know, me and my family, we've had computers, longer than a lot of other people. So here's my thing, right? I have this dichotomy between deciding between whether or not the interfaces are actually that complex or whether or not people are just fucking stupid. And the truth is somewhere in between, right? Because one of the biggest issues I have with people is that I feel that the interfaces, in many cases, not all the time, but in many cases, the interfaces are pretty simple, right? You press this, you press that, you press this, you press that. And if you ever have a problem, you can just Google it or YouTube it so they can walk you step by step on how to do things. They say, okay, step 1, press the button. Step 2, click yes. Step 3, click install. Step 4, install. Step 5, click OK to restart. At the same time, however, I do understand that as technologies continue to evolve and improve and what have you, that in many cases the interface can be difficult. Like right now, just before I got on, right, I have a Patreon. By the way, you can join my Patreon for $5 a month. Patreon.com/theultimaterage. And you can get exclusive access to exclusive content, behind the scenes material, updates that are only available for the patrons who decide to join up. But you get all the exclusive access to everything. Everything. I just dropped a song on there the other day. So consider becoming a patron today for $5 a month. Back to our scheduled program. But I was on Patreon just before this live, right? Because I was like, okay, I want to change the notification sound for my Patreon app. And I was on my phone trying to find the place where I could go to change the notification sound. And I could not find it. Could not find it. And mind you, I'm a super tech savvy person, right? Like, I love using technology. I am very, very into the tech, which is why I love to talk about it, which is why I hate being behind on tech, because I want to know what the fuck is going on, right? So I'm like, I use my phone all the time. I've changed all my notification sounds for all my other apps, but for some reason I could not find it for this app. And I'm on this phone every single fucking day. Every single motherfucking day, every single day, every single day, every single day. So how is it difficult for me, somebody who uses this phone every day, to find difficulty doing something that should be super duper simple on this device? Well, I am the ultimate rage. I'm not the ultimate somewhat kind of okay, somewhat kind of moody. I'm a little tad bit. No, I'm the ultimate fucking rage. Don't you fucking forget it. Look, you are in the no cap zone, fam. If you're gonna be in the no cap zone, we have a strict dress code. Knock it off with that capping ass bullshit. You will be effectively removed from the stream. And you can move the hell around. Miss me with the goofy shit. That's like me going to Lil Wayne and being like, oh man, you're so little, man. Who knew that you were little? Well, he did call himself Lil Wayne. He didn't say I'm big, huge, ginormous Wayne. Y'all gotta knock it off. Dead ass. Knock it off, fam. Knock it off with the cap. Like, seriously, take that cap off. Show some respect in the no cap zone. Take that fucking cap off. I knock that shit out. Play with me. Now, as I was saying before I was rudely interrupted, hit that like button, by the way. Stop playing. Hit the damn like. Push the goddamn button. So, many apps have become a lot more complex. They become a lot more difficult to use, especially if you're on social media. They have all these different fucking settings and tools. You can set your advertisement settings and your freaking privacy settings. You can archive previous posts. You can change your password. You can do this. You can do that. You can change this and change that. And for a lot of people, it's overwhelming. It's super, especially people who aren't super familiar with technology, who aren't the most sharpest tools in the shed. It becomes overwhelming, right? And at the same time, however, it's not that hard. Yo, Eric, the hell is wrong with you, fam? Yeah. Only every YouTuber says it. Hit the like button. I don't know why that's so difficult for you. See, this is what I'm talking about, right? This is one of the biggest issues we have as a society, right? What does it hurt you to hit the like button? You literally press a button. I got a keyboard right here. I can press buttons all day. I'm pressing buttons right now. Pressing the button, pressing the button, pressing the buttons, pressing buttons. All you have to do is press a button. This is how, and this is kind of what I like to talk about. And it pretty much encapsulates all that I'm talking about today. Particularly on this subject. See, improving as a society is actually not that hard in and of itself. We have people who make it hard, who overcomplicate the process, who work to make the conversation, to make the process more difficult than it needs to be. Because we have so many people that work tirelessly, constantly to muddy the waters. Either because they're delusional, because they're misguided, or because they have ulterior motives, working on behalf of some organization, or just for the lulz because they're fucking bitch-ass trolls. People who make society difficult. So in many ways, people like to make things difficult, right? I remember for the longest time, I was trying to get my mom on Facebook. And my mom was just like, nah, I don't want to do the Facebook. I'm not trying to get on Facebook. I'm like, come on, mom, everybody's on it. Just get on Facebook. It's not hard. No, I don't want to get on Facebook. That's too much. It's too much. Now I finally made. Okay, you getting on Facebook, Mom? Here, look. You got a profile. Here's your password. Boom. Now my mom's on Facebook all the time. Always keeping up with everybody and everything. Now she treats it like a normal fucking app. Which is one of the things. I'm like, it's not hard, Mom. You are an intelligent person. And mind you, my mom went to fucking graduate school. So she's an intelligent person. So using Facebook shouldn't be the hardest thing in the world. But when you're somebody who's not the most tech savvy person, when you're somebody who's not super duper into technology, technology can seem overwhelming, which makes it difficult for people to get on it and to use it to its maximal capability. Exactly. So, and that's pretty much a microcosm of our entire society. The fact that we have a nation that, even though they might like technology, they might like innovations, at the same time, they work to not learn shit. They don't want to know shit. They don't want to figure it out. They don't want to understand. I remember I used to record with these dudes from around the way. These gangbangers from around the way that I went to school with. Long story short, one of those goofy motherfuckers stole from me. So I told them, get the fuck on away from me. Fuck all y'all niggas. Even though I know which one of them it was. I know it was you, Lou. I know it was you. I know it was you. I know it was your ass. But, of course, I don't have proof. So they all gotta go. So, before they left, you know, there was like, oh, well, can you hook us up with the music and all that? I'm like, okay, cool. So I used one of these cloud apps where I could upload all the music they recorded with me, sent them the link where they could access all of it. And, no, not you, Jamie. Or was it you? Hold on. I know it wasn't you. I know it wasn't your way. Nah, I'm just playing. But nah, long story short, I sent them the link to this cloud that had all the music they recorded. You literally, all you have to do is click the link, open it, and boom, it's all the music is there. They acted like that shit was the hardest shit in the world. To the point where one of them was like, yeah, I don't really be on the computer like that. This was what, like 2010? 2010. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, yo, all you have to do is just click the link, open it, bam. But that's how difficult it can be for people using technology, that even the simplest tasks seem overwhelming because people don't know that all you had to do was just click the button and it opens and that's it. I mean, it's really that bad. It's really that fucking bad. And mind you, we had computers at our school. So it's not like they never used computers before. These fools went to high school, so it's not like the high schools didn't have computers. I know for a fact all high schools got computers. But exactly, Ron. That's exactly true. That's exactly true. And that's exactly what I was talking about earlier. The fact that there's all these different aspects of nature that people had no idea. Like things like viruses and germs. People had no idea they were even a thing that existed. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was saying earlier. Imagine somebody suffering from some disease and you don't know what the fuck is happening. You know what I'm saying? Somebody suffering from what? ALS or something. Somebody having a heart attack. Somebody suffering from dementia. They had no idea what the fuck was going on. They had no idea what the hell caused a hurricane or a tornado. They had no idea. So they just chalked it up to the gods. Oh no, the gods were angry. No, please, Zeus, don't, no. Because we didn't know what the fuck. That's why reality is so crazy, because we just ended up here. We're just here. We were just here, and there's so much about reality that we did not understand. So I feel like theism and stuff like that were a way for people to somewhat try to understand. But now that we have the scientific method, we can actually begin to understand. Now that we have technology, now that we have all these different tools that we can use to analyze various aspects of reality, we can begin to understand these things. But we still live in a nation full of people who aren't even taught to think like that. They're taught to think the things that they think are totally true. Just keep thinking that shit and don't help us over here. Even though there's different branches of science, different branches of computing that have all these, supposedly all these different openings for positions and nobody to fill them, because there's no incentive for people to learn these things so that they can get into the fields, so that they can get into the positions. They wonder why women don't get into the STEM fields. Well, they're not being encouraged to. They're not being pushed. They're being pushed with maybe it's Maybelline. And look, don't get it twisted. I love Maybelline. I love it when my ladies are looking fine and wonderful and sexy as hell. Okay? Don't get it twisted. But at the same time, they're not pushed to learn STEM. They're pushed to learn things like astrology and telling me, well, because I'm a Virgo, that means that I am not compatible with Libras and Sagittariuses because our chakras don't align. Some other bullshit. So we need to become a society that values these things, regardless of gender and race and all that fucking bullshit. We all need to be valuing science, technology, engineering, the arts, and mathematics, because these are the things that are driving human progression, that are driving societal progression, that are driving social progression, technological progression. But at the same time, as I stated earlier, these technologies are used for harmful purposes too. Not just in weaponry, but in terms of, like I said, also propaganda, misinformation, disinformation, controlling people's thoughts and moods and esteem issues and stuff like that. One of the biggest issues we have with the youth is the fact that because we have these social medias everywhere, we have all these models and wannabe models who are purporting these wonderful, amazing figures that provides issues to many of the youth who have self-esteem issues, who have issues with being okay with who they are. And we live in a society that's so superficial, we act like that shit is the shit that matters the most, instead of the quality of character. Or people, males, young males, if you ain't balling like that, you ain't shit. If you are a dude who ain't getting it, you ain't getting shit. And if you're a guy that has it all, then you can have it all. And that is one of the hugest issues, because we are so focused on the superficial. That's why I talk about the hypernormalization. We value the superficial instead of the substance. We value the superficial instead of the substance. If a chick looks good, then she's the one. It don't matter the quality of her character. It doesn't matter if she's a psycho. It doesn't matter if she has poor hygiene. It doesn't matter if she's a fucking lunatic, if she's antisocial and that she wants to stab me in my sleep. She got that ass, man. That's all that matters. She got that fat fucking ass. It doesn't matter if this dude is a homicidal, narcissistic maniac. It doesn't matter if this dude might abuse you and choke you and slap you and tell you that you're nothing and you can't do this, you can't do that, One of my favorite YouTubers, his name is Jay Williams, Let's Live Life. And he has a video where he talks about how people get jammed up on the phone. See, and this is also in tune with the technology that I'm talking about. The episode is about how people get jammed, because he's a prison YouTuber. Let me be clear. He's a prison YouTuber. He talks about prison. He did a stint of 10 years in prison. So he talks about all things prison. And so he talked about how prisoners can get jammed up on the phone because they'll talk and explain their crimes on the phone, even though there's a sign that says that all of your calls are being monitored, right? So he gave the story about this dude who was in prison, who was pretty much an asshole dude. He was selling drugs at the prison, he was having his baby mama help bring in the drugs, and he was using a cell phone to help orchestrate everything. But see, the thing about the dude is that he was bipolar, and so when he would talk to this chick, when she would come see him or he would talk to her over the phone, he would say all kinds of horrible, hateful, mean things. And the thing about it too was that this dude was very, very close to his release date. And so one day, the lady is talking to him, and he tells her, basically he starts threatening her family. He gonna do this, he gonna do that, blah, 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 blah. He's saying this on the jail phone, or prison phone rather. So the lady had had enough. She was tired of taking his shit. She was like, fuck this dude. Okay, that's how you want to be. I got something for your ass. And she pretty much ran and snitched on him. They gave her immunity. She gave them everything. She gave them the context. She gave them all the information they needed. And dude got jammed up. It ended up ruining his chances of getting out. Right? So this is a way that technology can be used in a bad way, because I mean the dude was using technology to flood the prison with illegal substances, and then he used technology to threaten someone, which ended up causing his undoing. And we see situations like this happen all the time, not just in prison, but out here in the real world, where people will do all kinds of horrible, terrible things. We have these situations where people will dox people. I've been doxed. On TikTok. I had a live on my initial account where somebody just kept posting over and over and over my address. My name, my address. They just kept posting it over and over and over and over and over and over. Or we see these situations where, you know, you'll have these people, particularly youth, who will get online, they'll talk to some random stranger, send them illicit pictures, and then that stranger will turn around and use these pictures as blackmail so that they can harm children and say, okay, well, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to keep sending me this, you got to keep sending me money, you got to keep sending me more pictures, or I'm going to expose you, and blah, blah, blah. And we've seen a lot of youth suffer from various issues, you know what I'm saying, internal issues, stress, even in worst cases where they unalive themselves because they couldn't handle the situation. And this is also how technology is used to harm people, right? Obviously, you get these trolls, you get these goofies who come in here and want to, you look like that, you fat, look at your healing, oh, you in the basement, blah, blah, blah. That's nothing to me, okay? I've been online for a long time. Trolls don't mean shit to me. You're going to have a very tough time getting a rise out of me as a bitch-ass troll. Nice try, though. Yeah, they are straight up evil. It's horrible. It's disgusting that these people are out here like that. That people will be out here doing that to young people. To young people. Like, for what? What is the point of that shit? What is going through the mind of somebody who is engaging in behaviors like that? Why would they choose to use technology for these ridiculously, preposterously evil purposes? How exactly does that help society for these people to act in these disgusting ways where they are using technology to worsen society? Where they're using technology to worsen somebody else's life for no good reason whatsoever? You see stories of people who will install tracking apps on somebody's phone because they're super insanely insecure about themselves and their significant others and what have you. So they got to be controlling. They got to monitor people. We're not talking about parents monitoring their kids' behavior. We're not talking about normal shit that happens or say, you know, a predator out there who's being no. We're talking about like I'm dating you, but because I'm super jealous of you, I'm gonna fucking secretly behind your back install the monitoring app so that I can keylog all your shit, so I can see everything you're typing, every app you're using at any and every time of the day. I could go back and look through all your history because I'm really that fucking insecure of a person. And we have a nation full of people like that who can't handle being in tune with themselves because this reality is so crazy and their minds are not entirely the most stable upstairs. You feel what I'm saying? That's why I talk about how we have a mental health crisis. Because when you have mentally disturbed people and give them access to technologies, they can use these technologies for nefarious purposes. And they do. They always do. Like recently, right? We had a situation where Kia vehicles, somebody found an exploit for these vehicles to the point where, oh, if I just use this device, I can actually hack into somebody's fucking Kia and easily steal it. Somebody tried to steal my brother's Kia multiple times. One time, I caught some fools trying to steal my neighbor's car. Late at night, I kept hearing this drilling sound. I'm like, what the fuck? It was like 4 in the morning. At first, I'm like, oh, it's probably some street construction. Wait, it's 4 in the morning. What the fuck is this? I go out to the front, and I see a whole bunch of people standing around one of my neighbor's cars trying to get into it. I'm like, oh, shit. Am I going to have to grab the thing? Am I going to have to grab the thing? I mean, it's Nordstrom. Nordstrom is a very high-end store. So, of course, they're going to say that Estee Lauder is the best. I have never heard of Estee Lauder until right now. But I'm pretty sure that she gets paid to say that. Pretty sure that that's her job. If she's a rep, then yeah, it's kind of her job to say that. But that's kind of the thing. When you're trying to sell something, it's kind of got to be the best. You're not going to fucking be like, hey, buy this fucking cell phone. It's but you can buy. No, you're going to say, this is the shit. This cell phone is the most amazing cell phone in the world. It has all these different attributes. It has all these different qualities. It's in fairly new condition, and it works so beautifully. This cell phone is the best cell phone in the fucking world, and this is steal. I'm giving it to you for the deal, for the dirt, and I can hook you up. That's how finesse works. I'm trying to sell you a product or service to the best of my ability, right? When you see an advertisement for anything, a product, a service, a fucking new chicken special from Popeyes or some shit, they're not gonna say, okay, this new chicken special, right? It's alright. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool. You know, I tried it. It was decent. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, you could come through and spend your $4.99 and then you could check it out. And you can see it. No, that's not what happens. This new chicken plate, oh my God, it's mouth-watering. It's so delicious. So beautiful. Look at the pictures. Doesn't it look super fucking fresh? Doesn't it look super amazing? We got the new chicken finger sandwich that is only $4.99. And if you actually order it on the app, then you can get this, that. And then on top of that, you can build your reward points. And then if you get up enough points, then you can use that to get you another chicken sandwich free. That's how advertising works. It doesn't matter the quality of the product or service. For all we know, this could be a piece of shit. For all I know, they're using bad chicken. They're going to end up needing a recall. But at the end of the day, if you are seeing an advertisement, they are always going to tell you it's the dopest shit. Regardless of whether it is or not. Because they're trying to make money. They're not going to make money telling you the truth. If they know that their product sucks. If I know my product is trash, I'm not going to tell you that. Because how can I expect you to buy it if it's fucking trash? I know, right? Like made on TV. As seen on TV. Yeah, you can get yourself this new fucking slicer, meat slicer. It's so easy and so wonderful, and it's so easy to use. And look, I just used it, and I'm just using it, and it's so amazing and wonderful. Isn't it awesome? Now, usually this is a $1,999.99 value, but if you act right now, you can get it at Walgreens for the low price of $12.99. And then, if you buy within the next 2 hours, you can get a free attachment that does not a goddamn thing, but god damn it, free shit is awesome, ain't it? Yeah, RIP for sure. Flex Seal, Flex Tape. At the end of the day, advertising is never going to give you the truth. And even when you look at reviews are not always the most accurate. When somebody who is objective says, okay, I'm going to perform a review, it's difficult to determine whether or not A, these people are genuine, B, these people are objective, C, whether or not these people are being paid or incentivized in some way to perform a glowing, wonderful review. Because at the end of the day, what are people's intentions? But wait, there's more. Yeah. At the end of the day, technology is not perfect. Technology is not just perfectly good, perfectly bad. Of course, I didn't even mention nuclear weapons and, weaponized bio weapons and, freaking all types of potential weapons that can be used or created that can create significant issues. Even the new technologies like nanotech. Nanotechnology. One of the reasons why we talk about these sorts of issues is that when it comes to nanotechnology, there's this concept called the gray goo. As I'm sure many of you know. That if nanotech was programmed or somehow there was some poor programming or glitch to where a nanobot or nanobots were self-replicating machines and they were just runaway self-replicating, that they could eat up everything on some Agent Smith shit. That they would just eat up everything and turn everything into a self-replicating machine that would end up destroying the entire universe. Eating everything, turning everything into self-replicating machines. Right? The paperclip maximizer, I think it's called. Or some shit like that. Where if you created a machine that turned everything into paper clips, it would just fucking turn everything into paper clips. Right? And so these are the reasons why we have to talk about technologies, how they're going to impact us as people, how they're going to impact our societies, and how we need to be using them henceforth. What kind of direction do we need to or want to go in? Yeah, fuck TikTok. They can eat cocks. They can lick cock. They can lip lock my big jock. I hope that shit flops. It's not dope at all. I hope they fall. I will come through with a sledgehammer and leave their offices with broken walls. Step to me with your bullshit, end up with a broken jaw. These motherfuckers think they actually know it all. What they need to do is get to know my balls with their fucking mouths. They keep coming at us with all kinds of bullshit. They need to cut it out. Cut it out, all right? All right? But yeah, off that. Back onto the regularly scheduled program. That's why I talk about working towards becoming a Kardashev Type 1 civilization. That's why I talk about all these different things. I know I can be a bit scatterbrained at times, but at the end of the day, we have a population of people who are scientifically and technologically illiterate as fuck, right? This hinders our ability to not only improve as a society, but to actually shape the direction in which we are to go in order to maximize the improvement that we could be experiencing and engaging in on a constant basis, on a regular basis. And it is my opinion that if more and more people were educated, were properly educated, were actually properly trained, and we actually work towards improving people's capabilities mentally and physically, that they would be better apt not only at using technology, using PCs and various devices, but that it would help us work more efficiently, interdependently with synergy, to improve the technology, to improve our quality of life, to manipulate the reality that we inhabit for our collective benefit, to create a well-functioning society for ourselves that sets us up to actually advancing as we would like. That's why we have to have these conversations. That's why I created the No Cap Zone. Because at the end of the day, there is so much motherfucking bullshit. People are taught that trapping is the way to go. And that's capping shit. At the end of the day, there is so much to learn and discover about this reality. It is abundantly clear that STEAM, science, technology, engineering, the arts, and mathematics are our best tools for actually this undertaking, for understanding reality, for creating new tools that enhance our ability to understand reality, to understand various aspects of reality, to understand things like dark energy and quantum physics and fucking neutrinos and black holes and gamma ray bursts and the cosmos. And is it all just the universe, or is there more to it? Is this a simulation, E8 lattice, quantum suicide, or whatever the fuck? What the hell is it? If we have more and more, thank you for hitting that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button too. Hit that notification bell, because we do this every day, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, shooting the shit, talking about reality and what it is, so that we can work together interdependently with synergy to create a well-functioning society for ourselves as human beings, as an American nation, as a human population, as earthlings. Because I feel that it is important that we get to the bottom of everything. And at first, it starts with having an established baseline for reality. If we can understand a basic level, what is reality? What the hell is this reality? And if we can build a stable foundation, we can build from there. But if you build a foundation on goofy shit, ignorance, bullshit, sci-fi fantasies, nonsense, goofy shit, fucking weak-ass baseless conspiracy theories, how can we ever hope to make any meaningful change, any positive change? If we are not in tune with reality, then what the hell is the point of any of this shit? How can we ever hope to create a well-functioning society for ourselves if we can't even agree on what reality even is? How can we ever hope to make any strides in progression if we can't even understand what progression means in the first place? If people don't even agree on the fact that we need to progress. Some people are happy with the way things are right now. They love it. They think this is perfect. This is optimal. This is peak humanity. This is peak human condition. We don't need to do any more. We don't need to improve any more. We don't need to have any more improvements. We don't have to have any more thoughts, any more innovations, any more discoveries. We are good exactly the way we are right now. And I call bullocks. Bullocks. It's like, goddamn, I mean, it's ridiculous that all these different entities think that this is optimal for humanity. That we shouldn't improve, that we shouldn't study, that we shouldn't learn, that we shouldn't trade information, that we shouldn't challenge the status quo, that we shouldn't challenge various institutions and ideas and ideologies. They think their ideas should sustain for forever. And I'm sorry to inform them that that is not sustainable if we want to have a continued existence, if we want to ensure that we... Okay, I was actually going to say that. But I couldn't... I was going to say something like, It's like Sandra Bullock and it's like Sandra and The Bright Side. I think that's what it's called. Because it's bullets. Because the movie was bullshit and all that. I was going to tie all that in, but I couldn't think of the name of the movie because I never saw it because it looked like bullshit. The Blind Side. But we're on the same. See, and this is what I'm talking about. We were on the same wavelength. We had the same thought, which is exactly why you're here. Because you get it like I get it. You see exactly what I see. I was literally just about to say that same shit. It's like Sandra in The Blind Side because it's bullets. It's bullets, it's bullshit. It's bullshit that this is optimal because it is abundantly clear there is still so much to learn and discover about the nature of reality. There are so many things that we still don't know. There are still so many questions out there that we have not figured out. And while these groups and those groups think that they haven't figured out, all it takes is a basic set of questioning to determine they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, that the claims that they make are baseless, logicless, senseless, nonsense, and that they have no bearing on the nature of reality. They have no actual contributions to helping us understand the nature of reality because every time we ask them to provide anything tangible, they have nothing. Hell yeah, fam. You know how I do. I'm a pretty clever guy. I try to be a clever guy. But yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous that we have become so entrenched in stagnation. We have become so content with bullshit. We've become content with this hyper-normalized nonsense where we can believe that everything is totally fine as long as we don't think about anything, as long as we don't actually question our beliefs, question our views, question the nature of reality, question the state of humanity, the state of America, the powers that be. As long as we continue pretending that these people know what the fuck they're talking about and we keep voting for the same parties, hoping that something magically amazing happens, nothing changes. And we wonder why. Because at the end of the day, these institutions do not want change. They don't want us to learn anything. Of course, they don't want to teach logic in K through 12. They don't want kids to learn logic at all. They don't want people to be logical. They know that these kids are going to drop out in the fucking 5th grade. They don't want to ensure that people are logical, reasonable, mentally and emotionally stable people because it's not beneficial for the powers that be. It's not beneficial for the private prison industrial complex. It's not profitable for the pharmaceutical industrial complex. It's not profitable for the military industrial complex because they need conflict. You can't make money with war if everybody is happy and getting along. You can't have a war industry if we're all working together, living in peace and harmony. Well, see, here's the thing. Hell yeah, Ron. That's what's up, fam. That's dope. Do that shit. Wish I could get a dog. But see, here's the thing, Silk. We're at a point where homeschooling, school, whatever, we have the technology to where even the concept of school, we should radically fucking rethink. We should radically rethink because, fam, I mean, we have these technologies. We have these fucking different forms of communication. All these different ways that you can learn shit. I would say I've probably learned more shit since I graduated from college than when I was in college. Because the thing about life is that life is one giant learning lesson. You never stop learning unless, of course, you're goofy, in which case, damn, that really sucks, right? But we have the internet. You learn something new every day, even if it's something trivial. Oh, Drake just released a whole bunch of fucking gigs of music and shit. Cool, right? You can learn all types of shit. But we have these technologies. The issue becomes ensuring that we're all on the same page. Because our society is not a society that values education, that values learning, that values the fact that we're constantly learning and improving. Most people aren't even informed of all these different innovations that are happening, right? Which is why it becomes so difficult for people to use technology. And I forgot to show y'all an important aspect of this article, right? Which is the mere fact, I'll just say it, age is still the most significant factor when it comes to technology and its usage. Yeah, I know, shocking, right? Shocking. Who would have thought the older you were, the more difficult it would be for you to use technology? It says right here. Let me see if I can find it. The research findings also show that age remains the most important factor in how well an individual can use applications. Older people clearly took more time to complete their tasks, and they also felt that the assignments were more burdensome. Right? So that's why it becomes so difficult for a lot of people to perform basic, simple tasks, right? And I'm talking about simple tasks. Adding an add-on to your browser. For me, that's something that's trivial. I know exactly how to do it. It takes me literally a few seconds. Bam, I just added a new add-on to my Firefox. But for somebody like my mom, it becomes almost impossible. Because for some reason, and I don't know why, but it's like she overcomplicates. I'm like, Mom, it's really not that hard. Look, all you gotta do is Google it, click install, bam, you're done. But for some reason, even the simplest things become even more difficult. As I've stated on countless occasions, thank you for the like. As I've stated on countless occasions, the hard part about progress isn't the actual making of the progress itself, right? I mean, that is hard, but it's not the hard part. The hard part is convincing the masses that this is what we should be aimed at doing, because a huge portion of our population, as I've said 1,000 times, are scientifically illiterate, computationally illiterate, computer illiterate. They don't know shit about fuck. They don't think, and they don't care to learn. Which is why they subscribe to these ideologies, because the ideologies allow them to think that what they know or what they think is sufficient. Sufficient for understanding reality, sufficient for living in society. Even though they don't even really think too deeply about their ideologies. Because a lot of the things they think, if they did a basic deep dive into it, they will easily realize how a lot of it doesn't make sense, which is the reason why, even though I used to be a Christian, I couldn't do it anymore. Because the more and more I studied it, the less and less sense it made. Because I was a Christian. I wanted to learn more. I wanted to learn theology. I wanted to learn more about the Bible and go deep into the Bible, because I wanted to improve my connection with the Lord. I wanted to believe that Jesus was watching over me and that he was helping me and that I could talk to him and that things would be awesome. But the more and more I learned, the less it made sense. That's one of the reasons why I talk about the simulation hypothesis all the time, because it provides a great analogy for how, if this theism was true, how senseless it would be. Because as I've stated, theism is just a scientifically illiterate form of simulation hypothesis. Hell yeah, we growing, fam. You already know what it is. Fam, I keep telling y'all, I was doing this on TikTok. This is how it works. This is exactly how I was working on TikTok. I do my thing, and eventually the numbers will start snowballing. But that's why I needed y'all. I need y'all. Because you motherfuckers, y'all are the ones who help make this shit happen. And that's kind of the whole point of this movement. That it's a people-driven movement. This isn't just some shit where I'm just trying to be a fucking rap star and I want to build fans. No. This is a movement. The music is just the medium to help make it happen, right? Because people love music. People love having fun. People love listening to music. They love fucking, they love music. They love dance. They love all that shit. They love entertainment, right? But This is entertainment for a purpose. That's why I get on here and talk to y'all. That's why we communicate. That's why I'm not just on here just showing you my music and being like, hey, check out my music. No. We're connecting. We're connecting on understanding everything there is about everything. Because that's what we care about. This isn't just about hip hop. This isn't just about entertainment. This isn't just about getting followers. This is about us as a fucking human race trying to improve ourselves. If this was a simulation, then what we are doing is machine learning in reality, in real time. We're trying to help the simulation improve upon itself so that it can create optimal fucking environments for us who have to inhabit the simulation. By trying to understand as much as we can about the nature of our reality, we can manipulate it and improve upon it to our collective benefit so that we can continue to build, so that we can continue to evolve, so that we can continue to create new tools that help us to better understand everything, so that we create a positive feedback loop of logic and learning and understanding and innovation and logic and learning and understanding and innovation to the point where we can become the very gods that we worship, aka a Kardashev Type 4 civilization and beyond. By setting a Kardashev Type 1 civilization as our immediate goal, it influences us to reconsider what we are doing and how we can actually achieve this goal of a Kardashev Type 1 civilization. By working towards understanding everything as much as we can, by working together interdependently with synergy and setting this goal, working towards this goal, we can achieve this goal. And it's important because we have all these existential threats that we face on a constant basis. Threats that we have faced for a long time. Environmental disasters, fucking self-destruction, mutually assured destruction, potential environmental disasters, all these different things that can fucking destroy us. And if we want to ensure our continued survival, and if we want to become a spacefaring civilization, if we want to become an advanced civilization, then that means it's incumbent upon us to knock it off with the capping ass bullshit. That's why I created the no cap zone, because in the no cap zone, we keep it real. We have real discussions about reality because we don't understand what reality is, but we want to, we strive to, we want to, we need to. If we want to survive, it's not going to help us sitting around twiddling our thumbs, praying and hoping and wishing. Please, thank you, Allahu Akbar, la la la, halal and halal haram. Thank you, Jesus, Hercules, Hercules, Hercules. That shit don't help us. That shit doesn't help us at all. Because if it did, we would be super duper uber advanced by now. Everything would be super totally perfect. All you would have to do is give your thoughts and prayers, and then it will reverse every fucking terrorist tragedy that's ever happened. 9/11, we could just reverse that with our thoughts and prayers, and then 9/11 didn't happen. Columbine didn't happen. Uvalde, Texas didn't happen. The Oklahoma City bombing didn't happen. The fucking Boston bombing didn't happen. The fucking, pick your fucking situation. If thoughts and prayers were sufficient, then it would work and you would never hear any arguments from me. We would just be on here thinking and praying all day, every day, thinking and praying all day, every day, and we would be making the world a better place with thoughts and prayers all the time. Considering the fact that the overwhelming majority of people are these type of people who subscribe to these ideas, and considering the state America is in, where on the Global Peace Index, out of 163 countries, with number 1 being the most peaceful and number 163 being the least peaceful, the United States ranks 132 right now. We are failing miserably. Now think, if the overwhelming majority of people subscribe to the sci-fi fantasy gobbledygook, if in order to even become a high-ranking official, you have to subscribe to the sci-fi fantasy gobbledygook, and considering the fact that we are constantly worsening and worsening and worsening, falling further and further and further on the Global Peace Index, what does that tell you? It tells you that maybe these fucking ideologies don't help us. They don't actually help us in reality. The mere fact that these people don't even want to talk about it unless they are preaching and proselytizing goes to show you just how disingenuous they are. Because if their beliefs were genuine and their beliefs were genuinely true, then why is it so fucking hard for them to demonstrate it? Which is why I came up with the ultimate rage paradox, which is my own take of the Fermi paradox. The mere fact that despite the billions upon billions of theists who have ever existed over the course of thousands of years, including the billions that exist right now, why is it that not a single one of them, not a single one, can demonstrate the existence of their deity, their leader, their fucking super duper uber super thing, existing thing, whatever that is, creature, entity, being, whatever it is? Why do they fail miserably at demonstrating that such a thing actually exists? Why do they think that just saying and saying and saying, no, it's totally real, it's totally real, it's totally real, actually helps? I can't tell you how many theists I've had in my chat here on YouTube, on TikTok, or any other fucking platform, or just in real life, who will just assert the same things over and over and over and over and over and over, constantly, and yet nothing. Their best evidence is a book. A fucking book. And not only is it a book, but different factions of different groups have either different books or different versions of books where they have different fucking passages or different fucking translations. And if there were a super duper programmer in the sky, if the great programmer in the sky wanted to communicate with people, why would it communicate in such an ineffective, inefficient way? It has all this power. It has all these qualities and attributes according to their lore. Why is it so difficult? I agree, the boss. I completely, totally, utterly agree. To hell with Kamala, to hell with Trump, to hell with the two-party system. Both parties have failed miserably to help us create a well-functioning society for ourselves. Period. Agreed. But at the end of the day, all these people have failed to help us understand reality, and that's why they subscribe to these sci-fi fantasy novels. That's why they don't think these things through, right? So that's why I had to create the no-cap zone, so that we could think these things through. That's why I talk about simulation hypothesis, because if you were a creator of a game, and if for whatever reason you wanted to communicate with your game sprites, why would you decide to use a book that you know they could misinterpret and misunderstand? If you wanted them to understand you, why would you not make sure that you communicated with them directly in a way in which none of them can misunderstand what you're saying, where none of them are bickering and fighting over each other, over who has it the right way and who has it the wrong way, who has the right interpretation, who has the right belief system? If you were a real entity that were creating all of this, hear me out. Why would you not just say, hey guys, over here, I'm right here. Look, here's what I want you to do. Hear me, saith the Lord, because I am that I am. I want you to blah, 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 blah. Hey, look, okay, I am the Christian God. Hey, Christians, I am here to inform you it is the Baptists that got it correct. Sorry, Catholics. Sorry, Lutherans. Sorry, Kojics. And sorry, fucking Seventh-day Adventists and Jehovah's Witnesses and Mormons. The Baptists got it right, okay? So I want you all to be Baptists and worship me as Baptists, and Baptist Christianity is the correct. No, it's none of that. It's it's actually Islam that got it right. Hindu is. All these fools are fighting for literally nothing. And I say that because the thing that they claim created everything, they have nothing to show for. So they are literally fighting for nothing. And this is ironic, because how is this helping us? How is this helping us? What is the point? And the big irony of it is that these same people, they will fight over literally nothing, but they won't give a fuck about you, and you're right here in front of their face. I can't tell you how many people I have cut off from my life because they were fake as fuck. In this hyper-normalized society, you can be right here talking, But they want to pretend like what we're doing doesn't matter. They want to pretend like this fucking act of trying to get to the bottom of reality, who cares? Nerd shit, lame shit. Ooh, look at this bullshit over here. How does that help us? That's why I say all the time, politics is religion. Religion is politics. They're one and the same. They're one and the same, which is the reason why we have this dire situation, which is why we have this devolving nation, this devolving society, this worsening society that is falling further and further on a downward spiral because people are unable to get real with reality. We're bickering over the goofiest shit. We're bickering over which party is the best party, even though both of these parties suck ass. You know, I used to be a Democrat. I used to wonder why, if Democrats were so logical and reasonable and had the best ideas, how could they possibly ever lose to Republicans ever? How are these races even remotely close? If this party has the correct ideas and that party doesn't, then what the fuck? Until I realized, oh, that's not how it works at all. They're both fucked in the head. Both of them. Which is why now, even though we have a Democrat in office right now, this fool has committed all kinds of horrible issues, created all kinds of horrible issues. In fact, has spent a large portion of his fucking presidency to correct the issues that he helped cause previous to his presidency. Yeah, we're totally unrepresented. I can't tell you how many texts I have received from the Kamala Harris team within the past month or so, and not a single one of them have talked about what the fuck they're gonna do for me, for my neighborhood, for my family, for my society, for our country. They just say, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Trumpity, 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 Trump, vote for us. Trumpity, Trumpity, Trump, give us money. Trumpity, Trumpity, Trump, give us money. Trumpity, Trumpity, Trump, vote for us. Trumpity, Trump, 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 Trump. And that's why I don't get it. Like, we've gotten to this point where they think that is sufficient to earning our vote, to the point where the political discourse has become super duper infantile, childish, ridiculous, preposterous, nonsense, garbage, a shit show, a clown show, where we can't even talk about the issues that matter the most that we need, because these fools control the airwaves, they control the flow of information, they control social media. I had to get off of TikTok because of these motherfuckers, because all of a sudden I start talking about Kamala and how she doesn't have a fucking chance to win, and all of a sudden now they want to shut me down, even though my numbers start popping like crazy. My numbers start popping because I say, hey, Kamala, she doesn't have a chance. And all of a sudden, my numbers start popping. I start getting the influx of people watching. And then all of a sudden, TikTok's like, wrong. That's sexual exploitation and gender-based violence. When at the end of the day, all of this shit is censorship to prevent people from understanding the truth. We have people who are willing to vote for somebody because of their gender, because of their race, because of the color of their hair, because of the color of their face, because of the color next to their name, because of the letter next to their name, and not because of the policies and standards and the vision that they stand for. That's why, in my opinion, neither of these motherfuckers are qualified to lead. Because in my personal, humble opinion, if candidates are not talking about how to actually further humanity, particularly talking about how we can become a Kardashev type 1 civilization and beyond, then what the fuck are they fighting for? What the fuck is the point of voting for them, of supporting them, of giving them money, of actively campaigning for them, of going online and saying, hey, vote for this and vote for that because they're so amazing? That's why I say we as people, all this technology that we have available to us now, we're not using it for our collective benefit. We're not using it to its maximal capability. All these people who can see the same shit that we see, and yet it's become so difficult for us to make any inroads, to make any meaningful change, because at the end of the day, the people who claim they want change don't actually want change at all. People love to talk, they love to bullshit, but at the end of the day, when push comes to shove, they won't do it. Which is why even something as simple as pressing the fucking like button. People absolutely refuse to do. It's so simple. It's so easy. All you have to do is bink and you pressed it and you did it. And people will absolutely refuse to do that. People who claim that they fuck with you, that they like you, that they rock with you, that they're such big fans and such big supporters, and they totally see your vision. They fuck with your vision, and they won't hit the like button. They won't hit the share button. They won't hit that notification bell. They won't hit that subscribe button. They won't fucking support you by joining your Patreon or checking out your music, like the Outrageous EP that's available on all streaming platforms, or joining the Discord where we can build community. You know, the link which you can find on my page. I mean, people won't actually do that type of shit. They will smile in your face all day. They will hit you up. They will hit you up, act like they want to talk to you and converse with you, and then not actually give a fuck about anything you got going on. They want to talk about the shit that they got going on, the shit that they care about, which is nothing that has to do with anything that you care about. Oh, you're trying to fucking get your music off the ground? Who cares? Oh, you're trying to get your business off the ground? Who cares? Oh, you're trying to fucking make some change in society? Who cares? What I want to tell you about is what I got going on, because I just did this and I did that and did this, did that, did this, did that. And look, it's not saying that I shouldn't care about anything you got going on. All I'm saying is it should be a two-way street. I have no problem listening to what you got going on if you're willing to listen to me. But if you're going to hit me up so that you can just talk about bullshit, while you continue to ignore me and what I got going on, what you got going on, then what is the point? What is the point of communication? Had to cut off a fool the other day, like a week or so ago, because this dude would hit me up, want to meet, want to fucking link up, right? This dude from high school I know. But every time we link up, it's always about what he's talking about. He don't give a fuck about nothing I got going on. He don't care about the fact I be doing these lives. He don't care about the fact that I'm trying to help us as a society become a Kardashev Type 1 civilization. Any of that good shit. I remember I linked up with him the first time, showed him my music. He couldn't be the least bit interested. Totally zoned out. Checked the fuck out. Did not give a I could see it oozing in his face. He's just like, oh my God, this dude showing me his music. And it's so weird to me. It's like, okay, if you don't care about what I got going on, then why are you hitting me up? What the fuck you want to talk to me about? Why do you want to fucking interact with me for what? It's these superficial connections that we have with people, these artificial associations and acquaintances that we have with people, because so many people are fake. I don't know if it's because they're actual literal NPCs because this is a simulation, or if it's just hypernormalization because people are fake as fuck and don't actually care, or what it is. People are just apathetic, selfish as fuck, narcissistic as hell, self-centered. Yo, cancel this bitch ass motherfucker right here. Bye. Better luck next time. You failed. Wah, wah, wah. Game over. Yeah, I like to yap. I like to talk, because communication is key for us to interact and understand each other, understand the nature of reality. Because if we don't talk about it, then what the hell is the point of what we're doing? What is the point of society? What is the point of our actual civilization if we're not working together interdependently with synergy and attempts to improve upon it, to understand it, to make changes that help us reach optimal levels that set us up for constant improvement, so that we can understand as much as we can about reality as much as possible. And this is exactly the issue. Like I've said, the hard part isn't the actual work. It's dealing with these bitch-ass trolls. Dealing with these goofies who absolutely positively work steadfastly against improvement, against progression, against helping us as a society to progress, to understand, to innovate, to discover new innovations, to discuss the ethics and the morals of how we should go about it, how we should use these technologies, who gets access, who gets what access, what level of access should you get? What level of control should you get? How should we organize ourselves to make ourselves individually and collectively compatible with these new technologies that are being released? Because these new technologies, especially going forward, are going to have such immense impacts on society. We're talking about things like nanotechnology, fusion energy, fucking CRISPR gene editing, nanobots, brain computer interfaces, things that are going to have immense impacts on society that are going to change us for better or worse. And I say we should aim to make it better, but we can't ensure that it actually will be better if we're not having real discussions on what that means. Talking about some of the deepest, darkest, most controversial subjects that there are, right? Because when you're talking about virtual reality and stuff like that, you're talking about nanotechnology and stuff like that, these are technologies that could greatly improve humanity, that can help us become transhuman, post-human, better humans who are stable mentally, physically, with extended lives, extended lengths of lives, and all these different things. But at the same time, because this is technology, these are technologies that can be manipulated in nefarious ways that actually seek to worsen humanity, that can seek to actually harm humanity, harm individuals. I don't want to have a brain computer interface and now I can get hacked and become a fucking zombie or some shit. Now I've been pre-programmed to be a Terminator. Now I've been reprogrammed to be a fucking T-1000, and now I'm going around looking for John Connor, trying to unalive everybody named John Connor, Sarah Connor, fucking whoever, because I got hacked. But we're already seeing brain-computer interfaces starting to become a thing with Neuralink. Word, Jamie. That's exactly the issue. That right there. What does it hurt? I'll tell you what it hurts. It hurts the profits of the rich, the banks, and the corporations that benefit from the status quo, that benefit from the current state of affairs, that are doing so wonderful and so well while you are not thinking about any of this shit. Because their way of life might get upended if we actually move to improve various different aspects of reality. That's why the fact that we have this hyper-capitalist society is so detrimental to our society, so detrimental to our progression, because when everything gets focused on profit, money making, instead of actual improvement of society, instead of actually understanding society, then our fucking priorities get out of whack. Somebody could be the most narcissistic child rapist of all time, but because they're rich, they're super duper wonderfully amazing. Everybody says this person is so great and wonderful because it just so happens that this guy has this nice little island where all the celebrities are coming and having fun. Everybody sees it. Dude gets unalived, but we're told that it was a swing. And we all know damn well Jeffrey Epstein did not unalive himself. Come on, fam. You think we're you really think we're that stupid? But see, that's the thing. That's how the powers that be are. It's not even the fact that they think we're that stupid. They know that there's nothing that we can do because we're who are we? What? Okay, they can do shit like that in front of our faces, and what are we gonna do? Who the fuck are we going to run to? Who the fuck are we going to talk to? They're the ones that are in the control in the first place. They're the ones that have the control of the fucking various different media platforms. They're the ones that can work with the CEOs and CFOs and all the executives to say, hey, we want you to suppress these people and big up those people. We want you to shut down that person because I don't like what they're saying, and I want you to big up this person because I love what they're saying. It's the industrial complex. When you have industries that are making money based on human misery, they have a financial incentive to ensure that human misery persists. So they're going to use technology. They're going to use the algorithms. They're going to use television programming. They're going to use the motherfucking algorithm. They're going to use your For You page so that you see as much bullshit as they want you to see. They want you to think all of this shit is fair. If you're a content creator and your content isn't taking off, why don't you just make better content? Why don't you just make better content? But as Silk showed earlier, right? He made this post in the Discord. You should join, by the way, because we're all gonna be kicking it in the Discord after the lives every day, where we're gonna shoot the shit and we're gonna watch some shit and learn some more shit in a more intimate setting. Showed this fucking post of just some goofy shit. Motherfuckers are making money with nonsense, unhelpful shit, things that don't actually help improve humanity in any tangible, meaningful way. And yet all types of fools are getting more and more and more and more money, followings, profits, all of that. A lot of people like to compare me to EDP because I guess we're overweight black guys. Loud, overweight black guys. Except the difference between me and him. For one, you will never, ever catch me in the inboxes of minors, right? Sending them shit pics, right? Not my cup of tea. And yet, this fool, despite all the things he got caught doing, still finds a way to get on platforms and build a huge fan base. Despite all the terrible things he's gotten caught doing on a constant basis. The dude just got back on YouTube last time I checked. Already got hundreds of thousands of followers. Hundreds of thousands. And it's like, what exactly is he contributing to humanity? Okay, he was a solid entertainer for his time, but after being exposed multiple times for being a straight up weirdo, people are still enamored. I've talked about Chris Chan, that weirdo. People are enamored with weird shit, bullshit, crazy shit. I don't know if it's by design or if people are just fucking weird and they're just obsessed with the weird shit. But people are weird. Life is weird. Reality, existence is weird. The fact that we're all here, people don't stop to think how crazy that shit is. The fact that we even exist in the first place. Why the fuck do we exist? How the hell did we get here? Why is life so fucking unfair? I've talked countless times about situations of people being born into horrible, hellish conditions. Why the hell is life like that? Why is it that somebody can get the super duper short straw and they can be born into a family of people who are psychotic, psychopathic, antisocial behavior having people who do the worst, most horrible shit? Saw a story the other day. This dude, this white guy, was living with another white guy. The guy that was living with the other guy, apparently they were both having beef. Always threatening the pew, 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 pew. So then the one guy who was living with the other guy, his daughter ends up moving in with them. And then all of a sudden, the guy whose house, the homeowner, ends up disappearing. Come to find out, they buried him in the backyard. And the father of the daughter, they had a relationship that went beyond father-daughter, if you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Yeah. Father-daughter, yep. And supposedly the father was supposed to like not be in touch with the daughter because he had other issues and shit like that, but she turned 18. Yeah, wow, crazy. So I think she ended up going to prison too. Well, they both ended up going to prison. She was failed by everybody in the... Oh yeah, and by the way, his parents, the father's parents, knew about their relationship. Everybody in the neighborhood knew about their relationship. It was a common thing for everybody to know. Of course, some people are like, oh, that's crazy, that's weird. But see, that's the thing about American society. That's the thing about human society. We all know that all these crazy things are happening around us all the time. We see stories happen all the time. We know people in our neighborhoods, probably people in our own families, people in your family, people in your circles that have families going through this type of shit. I remember one of my friends from high school was telling me about how her daughter was friends with this girl whose uncle was doing that to her. And what was crazy was that the mom knew. And the mom was like, oh, well, if Uncle Jake tries to get at you, why don't you just run into the closet or something? I don't know. We have these people who are antisocial, who are in families that not only are aware, but in many cases even encourage the crazy shit. Human misery has persisted throughout human history. And it's become so difficult to deal with the traumas, to deal with the harshness of reality, which is why people turn to illicit substances, which is why people turn to ideologies to help them get away, to help them take their minds off of these crazy situations. And then it makes sense as to why people get so entrenched in these ideologies, get so caught up in their addictions, because at the end of the day, reality can be a harsh-ass, cruel-ass motherfucker. Reality can really, really bite. Reality can really, really fucking suck. And that is a huge reason as to why a lot of people don't want to talk about this shit. Because this shit is uncomfortable. People can't stand being uncomfortable. That's why people always talk about comfort. Oh, why didn't you just leave? Let someone believe what they want to believe. If it provides them comfort and they're not harming anyone, then what's the problem? Everything is all about comfort because we're all aware of the traumas that various people are going through. Some of y'all might be going through traumas I've been dealing with, issues I've been dealing with, right? I'm not the happiest person in the world. That's why I'm the ultimate fucking rage! Because I'm fucking pissed! I tell you all the time, okay, I might seem super duper cool. I might seem so intellectual and so wonderful and so smart. I'm such a great reader. I can read and I can think and all this thing. And yet, despite all of that, I named myself after an emotion. Because at the end of the day, emotions drive us so much. People are so driven by emotion and not by logic. It's all about how we feel. It's all about how you feel. It's about how that song made you feel. It's all about how that guy or that girl or that person, whatever the fuck your fucking persuasion is, how that person made you feel. Not about those animals now. Don't mess with animals and young kids, you fucking weirdos. But yeah, it's all about the feelings that you felt when you were feeling that thing. It's about when you heard that song for the first time. It's about when you got that kiss for the first time. When you got fired for the first time. When you got hired for the first time. When you got promoted for the first time. The feelings that you get from all these different things. And having to deal with these traumas. Having to deal with these issues. Having to deal with these tragedies. Having to deal with different disorders. Having all of these substances that can take you away. That feeling you got when you took that crack or you took that coke or you took that this or that for the first time, and how it made you feel better, how it helped you to deal with or cope with the various traumas that you dealt with in your life, and why now you need to get more and more, and you can't help getting more, because if you get off of it, you have to come crash landing back to that harsh reality that you know is there waiting for you, and that people don't want to have to deal with, don't want to experience. Oh, I'ma say it. I'ma say it, fam. I'ma say it. I say it. I don't give a fuck. Because we have to deal with reality. And that's what sucks about the censorship. That's what pisses me off about TikTok, because it's so fake. We have a hyper normalized society that doesn't want to talk about the harsh reality about reality. And like, this is the dichotomy of the internet nowadays, right? On one hand, you have all this censorship, you have all this fucking, oh, we have to try to sanitize as much as we can about everything. And then on the flip side, we can go right now and see some of the most gruesome, most heinous videos right now with a quick Google search. Some of the most graphic, tragic, fucking gut-wrenching videos you will ever see in your life. Horrible things that have happened to real people in real life, because this is real life. This is how real life works. It is ugly. It's cruel. It's disgusting. It's terrible. It's heart-wrenching, gut-wrenching. It is fucking just like tear-inducing. It is so horrible. When you see somebody who's been caught by ISIS getting unalived by some sick, twisted individuals because they want to believe this ancient sci-fi fairy tale, and so they want to set somebody on fire, or they want to shoot somebody, or they want to explode their body with explosives, or they want to fucking light them on fire and watch them burn to death, and do all these horrible heinous or behead somebody using a fucking rusty knife in HD 4K. These are things that are happening to real people every fucking day. We know that these things happen, or not even that, or just straight up accidents that happen every day. Car accidents, plane crashes, pedestrians getting hit by vehicles, or people committing suicide. Acts of suicide that we see all the time. People live streaming homicides and suicides and fucking all types of heinous accidents that are caught on camera. People who get disfigured from war. People who get disfigured by getting mauled by their family pet. Or by some fucking animal. Some wild animal. All kinds of crazy shit that happens in real life, because life is real. Life is cruel. The worst things can happen to some of the best people. And we have no idea why. We have no idea why the world can be so fucking cruel. Shout out to Flesh and Bone. Why are we living in the world so cruel? Oh, why are we living in the world so cruel? It's fucked up, because that is reality. It can be cold, it can be harsh, it has been cold, it has been harsh for eons and eons and eons. But now we are in the time where we are actually beginning to make things better. We have extended the human lifespan. We have created cures and treatments for various ailments. We're actually beginning to understand ailments as ailments. Before, they used to think, oh, this person must have been possessed by a demon or something. Now, no, we know that this is a psychological disorder. We know that this is some kind of disorder. No, that person is not possessed by a demon. They're just suffering from an epileptic seizure. And now we have treatments for how we can handle that shit. Now we're discovering methods, we're discovering medicines, we're discovering better fucking treatments that we can utilize to help people deal with their issues, deal with their traumas. And if we actually came together working interdependently with synergy to figure out different solutions to all these different things, to figure out better solutions, better treatment methods, better technologies, all these things, we could create a society of people who are more and more emotionally, mentally, physically stable. That's why I'm such a staunch transhumanist. That's why I am so staunch in my transhumanism because and extropism, because I believe that we should be working to understand as much as we can, not just about reality as it is, but understanding as much as we can about the human body, understanding as much as we can about the brain, about the human mind, about consciousness, so we can understand what the fuck is going on in that brain of yours, in that brain of mine, in the brains of everybody. Because as much as we can relate and as much as we can interconnect, I still don't know what's going on in your brain. I have no idea if you're coming with pure intentions, if you're suffering from various disorders that can snap into fucking effect and cause you to act in a way where you can flip out and want to cause harm to me or my loved ones, because there's so much about ourselves that we still don't know. We still don't even know how life came to be yet. Yeah, people do shit like that. People are fucking horrible trolls, fam. That's one of the things I can't stand about people. That they do shit like that, right? Posting like that type of shit and doing it in the veiled way, right? Like, as an example, on Reddit, I used to subscribe to this subreddit called iBlack, which is very similar to another group called iBleach. They are literally the polar opposites. iBleach was like, oh, all these things are wonderful, cute puppies and babies and wonderful, happy-go-lucky situations. iBlack, on the other hand, you can kind of guess what that was about. Like, you know, the stuff I was just talking about. The worst of the worst of the worst. The absolute worst of the worst of the worst. And see, that's the thing. And see, I'm not gonna lie, so I have mixed feelings about that type of shit, right? Obviously, that specific type of shit, fuck that shit. But at the same time, I do feel like we do a little too much of shielding children, trying to shield children. I do think there are definitely some things that are just plain not age appropriate, right? But at the same time, I know some people in real life. When I was going to college, right? I went to a Christian college because I was a Christian. I was a Christian. And I knew people who were sheltered from fucking cartoons and shit. Because they thought it was the devil. They thought that, oh, Angela Pickles, she was a demon child. How dare you watch a TV show about a demon child? And I wish I was exaggerating. I'm not. I wish I was exaggerating. I'm not. People have been sheltered in various different ways so that then when they go to college, they get like, they're like a deer in headlights. They're like a deer in headlights. They can't believe that college would be so real. And mind you, this is a Christian college. This ain't even like a university. It's a Christian college. So at the same time, because check this, right? Back in the fucking ancient times, children were exposed to everything. Everything in real time. Yeah, it might be just a regular day. A child might see another child get eaten by a fucking tiger or some shit. And that was regular life. Right? So, obviously, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, children need to be seeing graphic shit all the time. Right? But at the same time, I remember as a 6-year-old watching Terminator 2 when it came out. And that shit being so fucking mind-blowing. Even at that age, I was 6. 5, 6, whatever. And that shit still sticks with me to this day. I still remember the first time when fucking they were talking about there is no fate but what we make. At 6, that was mind-blowing to me. I'm like, wow, like, we could do anything. You know what I'm saying? And so these are the types of things that we need to be instilling in children, that there is no fate but what we make, right? Even though, of course, there's, is there free will and all that type of shit? Yeah, intellectual conversations. But at the end of the day, we are not relegated to any particular ideology's supposed fucking end time bullshit. We have the ability as a human race to decide what our future will be, what kind of future we want to have, whether we want to sit back and sit on our thumbs and just hope that the end doesn't come too fucking slowly, Or if we say, you know, what is this end shit? Why would we even want the world to end? This is just the beginning. Why would we not want to see how deep the rabbit hole goes? Why would we not want to be there at the end of time, chilling, advanced as fuck, like, yep, we got it, we understand it. That at the end of the day, we are the arbiters of our future. We humans have our own fate in our own hands, which is why I created the no cap zone, where we have a strict dress code. You not get the fuck off with that cap and shit, because at the end of the day, we don't put a cap on what humanity is capable of. Anybody who says humanity can't do this or can't accomplish that, not get the fuck off with that cap and ass bullshit. Okay, humanity has gotten here to this point because we decided this is what the fuck we're gonna do. We're gonna create a civilization where we can manipulate our environment to our collective benefit, to the point where we have roads, to the point where we have hospitals with medicine, cars, planes, trains, automobiles, all these different fucking forms of transportation, forms of communication, forms of fucking purchasing and selling and doing all these things in our society. We're developing spaceships and reusable rockets and shit. This ain't shit. While these things are amazing, while these things are great, we are barely scratching the surface. As I say all the time, people say sky is the limit. Bullshit! Why the fuck would you set the limit to the sky when there is a whole universe out there? There is so much for us to discover about what the fuck is out there, what all of this is, whether this is all just a universe, a simulation, a multiverse, an uberverse, a superverse, a many worlds, E8 lattice, fucking quantum suicide, whatever the fuck reality is. There's so much to discover, even about ourselves, of human beings, of the earth, and all the things in it. There is so much to discover. Why the fuck will we not want to figure this shit out? That's why I need your help, right? That's why I need your help if we're going to create a fucking well-functioning society for ourselves. If we are aiming to become a Kardashev Type 1 civilization and beyond, I need you to help me, help us make this fucking shit happen. Miss me with all of the excuses. Miss me with all of the political mumbo-jumbo. Miss me with all of that, well, we can't. Tell Martin Luther King that he couldn't fucking have a drink. Tell Malcolm X he ain't know what the fuck he was talking about. There's a reason why they name streets after these people and not these goofies that be in media that be blah, 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 talking and bullshitting all day. Because these motherfuckers didn't know what the hell they were talking about. It always depends on the person. I'm talking to you two because y'all seem to not want to agree. Different people are different. It doesn't matter how old you are, other than, you know, what comes with aging. It always depends on the person. There are old people and young people who are goofy as fuck. It don't matter how old you. If you are a goofy, you're going to be a goofy until you decide you're tired of being goofy. That's why we have to uplift. Not just in the fucking superficial sense, but in a literal sense. We have to uplift. That's why I'm a transhumanist. That's why I'm a futurist, an extropist, atheist, and anti-theist, because I'm all about trying to really get to the bottom of understanding reality as it is. And if we all collectively decide that that's what we want, then we have to work interdependently with synergy to make it happen. That's what it's all about. So thank y'all for coming through. I think I'm going to end it right there. Been streaming for 3 hours. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate y'all for taking the time out of your day to kick it with me in the no cap zone, where we have a strict dress code. Now get the fuck off with that goddamn capping ass shit. Take that. The only cap that's allowed around these parts is the thinking cap. Otherwise, knock it off. So thank y'all. Make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe, turn on the notification bell if you haven't already. Check out the Outrageous EP, available on all streaming platforms. I'm talking about Apple Music, fucking whatever music, YouTube Music, Amazon Music, Spotify, all that shit. join the Discord where we're going to be relaxing after the live. And you can also check out the Furious Styles Volume 1 mixtape in the OD9 music section in the Discord. You know what I'm saying? Join my Patreon. $5 a month, you get access to extra content, bonus content, exclusive content, new music, all that shit. Just dropped a new song on Sunday with my homie from high school. Check it out. It's pretty fucking dope. I don't know why the hell you wouldn't want to hear it, because I got them bars, you feel me? And, oh yeah, and then follow me on most social media platforms at The Ultimate Rage. All the links can be found on my page. If you go there, you see all the links all there. Vote Jill Stein. Vote Jill Stein. Vote for whoever the fuck you want to vote for. This is who I'm voting for. That's all I'm saying. Do what the hell you feel. This is a democracy, right? So vote for whoever the fuck you want to vote for. At the end of the day, this is going to be a lifelong process. Hopefully it doesn't take us a life to make it happen. But let's bring some fucking goddamn sense to reality, y'all. And let's turn that sense into dollars. Or else it don't make no damn sense, alright? Thank you for coming through. If I don't see you tomorrow, then enjoy the rest of your week. We doing this every day almost at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. So be back tomorrow. Same back time, same back channel. This is how we doing things. Thank you for coming through. This has been the No Cap Zone. Peace out.